Alaikum, Shalom, Hotep, Buenos Dias. Peace on to you and to your family. Peace to the chat, the mods, and everything like that, man. And today, um, we wanted to get into talking to our sister Dulcinea because Dulcinea, we've been there with you, and I've been one of your punching bags for a long time, and you get into it and all of that. So I just wanted to get into an interview with you. I like to do interviews. I don't lie. So I wanted to get in an interview with you because sometimes people hear about you when it comes down to a debate or something like that, but they don't really know like your where you came from, why you are the way you at, and things like that. So I'm gonna let Jay say something real quick, man, and then I want to ask you a couple of questions if you don't mind, and if Jay got questions, he can ask you too.
Yeah, I'm all set, bro. I ain't got nothing right now. I'm just here for support. That's all.
Okay, bet. So no more stalling, Like I said, me and my sister done been going at it for so long. Dulcinea, um,
Yes, we have.
yes. Uh, what? First of all, let me start by this. How did you come into like studying the info you studying? Because you study way more than just science. In case people didn't know, you're all around studier. Can you just go into that real quick?
Yeah, I would say the basis of me studying like outside of school starts from my dad. My dad always impressed on me that, learning didn't stop at school, especially when it came to our Black history and to know truly who you are. But he never was like, I'm going to give you the information so you get my premise on it. So he always instilled in us to go outside, read books, get more information. He had all the encyclopedias, if y'all remember those, and he would just make us go and write papers in the summer. He was a professor as well as a computer science engineer, but he did teach history as well. So that was just always big growing up in our house that we needed to learn for ourselves, even when it came to spirituality. We were not pressured to have one particular spirituality over the other. When I was really mastering the Bible and I really knew the scriptures, his next thing was like, okay, now you need to go to the Quran. You need to go to Hinduism. You need to learn everything because that's the only way to really have true understanding is when you know what's happening in other places. So I would say that my dad instilled that in me. And then as my spiritual journey increased, I would say through losing a lot of people, through losing a lot of my family members, and me trying to search for God in that aspect of my loss. I think that's where a lot of this came first. It's like a spiritual journey that led into science, because I do believe that spirituality is the basis of where a lot of people find science.
Okay, and let's stay right there real quick since you already went into it. So, what religion you came up underneath?
I grew up in a Christian household. Specifically, we were Church of God in Christ. That's like a Pentecostal, one of those holiness churches of like that. But they weren't strictly like all the principles of the Bible. I would say from the other side of my mom's side, she was very spiritual. So she was very much into the spiritual fruits. I said this on a Cam Up podcast. My mom would always say it's better for you to be a spiritual fruit than a religious nut. So it was all about like the basis of spirituality and being a good person, and what kind of person do you want to be, and not just following the scriptures verbatim. But I did grow up in a Christian household.
Dulcie, say
Okay,
that again. I like that saying. Your mom said what? Say that again. It's better
It's
to be
better to, spiritual fruit than a religious nut.
I like. Oh, I like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, OTK.
Okay. So like, so since you study all of this, what you say your strongest subject will be? Um, or subject or talking point or your ability. What would you think your strongest? If not all the same, you know understand what I'm saying? What would your
Yeah, I
strongest
definitely understand
aspect
what
be?
you're saying. I had to think about it or anything. I think it's kind of changed. At first, it was more of a math that was a strong suit of mine, but now I would say science is one of the strong suits, especially in this debating field. I'm really into the different points of science, especially of the information that they give us or say, like, this is the end all be all. I want to know why. I want to know why it's the end all be all. I question it, and then I want to investigate. I want to see the experiments, and I'm very interested in just really helping the next generations because I want to see more of us really own our patents, really own the things that we're doing. Because I saw my dad, being a computer engineer, I seen him help invent the what's at the food, like the cash register. He helped them invent it where it connects with the computers and that integration. He's one of the first ones that did it for Whataburger, but his name wasn't associated with it because he was just an employee. So they would get all those credits and not him. So I saw that, and that really instilled in me, like, there, and that's happening with AT&T, that's happening with Dell. There's all these so I know people are like, they're not black, but we're just going to call them so-called black today. But there's a lot of black minds that are behind these innovations, behind these patents, but someone else gets the credit for them.
I like that. I like that. If you don't mind, Dulcinea, before I get into any more questions, Queen, because me and you talk, and me and JB talk, me and other sisters, we all talk on a brother sister level, and sometimes people need to know that it's hidden strength behind this YouTube picture that people see, or this thing that we portray out here on YouTube. And that's what I like to do over there on Round Table. Um, Sometimes we get to judging people because we see them here and we see them there, and we might not agree with them. But overall, at the end of the day, we all are what they call human. We all are people. We all got our own struggles, our own different things in life that we go through. So I want to ask you, you being my sister, how do you find the strength every day to deal with what you deal with? And I want you to go into what I'm asking you, and then you can bring it out. I call it kids with special abilities. And the reason why I call it that, because we have this construct today where we say that these kids have disabilities because we don't have the abilities that they have. But we don't know the abilities that they have. Maybe we needed to make a whole person because we think that we whole, but yet we might be lacking something that they hold, and vice versa. So I call them special abilities. I don't call it no disabilities. And if you don't mind, tell me, sister, my queen, how do you deal with that on a day-to-day basis and still find time uh, for everything else?
Absolutely, I can. And just so people know, the special abilities is autism. You can hear my child in the background. He is definitely here. A lot of times it is hard to balance it all. He definitely around. He wants mom time. Then there's the studying and all that kind of things. But I would say with dealing with it all, it's just about balance. My ancestors definitely helped me. I I really wished that my mom would have gotten to meet him, but I know because of my spirituality, you know, that she's here. All my ancestors are here with me. So that's what really gives me the strength. I remember how I grew up and different things like that. And then with his autism, a lot of times he teaches me some things because we want to be all like, well, say your ABCs, say 1 + 2 is 3, and all these different things. But I noticed certain things like with his autism, like he's really into feeling, he's really into touch, to feel love. He'll just be outside, and when the wind blows across his face, he'll close his eyes like he's on a ride or something, and it's just amazing. He'll just analyze everything that's happening outside, or a flower, and I'm like, wow, maybe we're the ones that are abnormal because he sees so much beauty in life. And so instead of me being like, oh, okay, there's a shortcoming in that because he's not speaking yet, or he's not giving and doing the instructions how we would want him to just say, hey, pick up a ball, throw it. I can see the beauty in the things that he actually does and what he actually gravitates to. And I tried to learn him, and let that be how I teach him, by learning what his interests are, what the things that he likes to do. It's really funny with him because he was real into cars. So the first time when he was 2, we had got him the little Jeep for him to ride around, and the first thing he did was took all the wheels off the car with his fingers. I was like, how did you do that? But he's very he likes to investigate things, so he teaches me, investigate, see how this is made.
That's crazy, right? So did y'all put it back together?
We tried to put it back together. He took the wheels off again. We were
Nah,
like,
nah, nah. Just tell me no. Just tell me
no,
no.
we tried to put it back together, and then he took the wheels off again, and we're like, okay, we not doing this with you. We
So
not playing
y'all
with
couldn't
you.
figure it out.
You can just have the wheel. Take the wheel. There you go.
Right. Hey, Queen, and I appreciate you for opening up. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we be on these panels, but sometimes people need to get to know us. And I told you, and I want to eventually interview all the Unscrambled Minds because all of y'all have a major story to tell. And for y'all to all be on a panel, maybe people will understand why y'all on a panel together once they understand y'all's story. You understand what I'm saying? Because we
Yeah,
all
and I
got a
think that's
story.
wonderful because absolutely, I think we get judged by an opinion here or the things that we say, and a lot of people don't know what our story is, what motivates us, or anything like that. So they just see the surface value, and you can really judge people on the surface, but when you're really getting to know this stuff, that's when you can really say, okay, now I really see why she thinks like that. Now I know where her viewpoints are coming from. So I love my sisters, and I know they're all going to bring a beautiful story to the table, and you'll see why we're all here together because it's meant to be.
Right, right. And listen, y'all save some back because that's farther for y'all to go in depth with later on. You know what I mean? So you ready? You ready for me to get into some questioning with you?
Yeah, go ahead. I thought you
Okay.
already were.
Yeah, but that was getting to know you.
Oh Lord, OTK.
Now we're gonna get into this debate critique now. Is that okay?
Yeah. Did you want to critique first or ask a question first?
Now I'm gonna ask your questions.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you feel that you did in that debate?
I feel like there were good points and there were bad points. I had some really strong points. I think I did convey once I was going into tying it and going into the third round where I was tying in the pseudoscientific phrenology and craniology and showing people that they're still using that today. They're still measuring brains and saying, oh, you're as intelligent as how large your brain is, or saying, oh, your head shape can say based on who you are, different things like that. I think that was strong. And I think, but before me trying to lead up to it, I should have said more things to allude to that, or come and with going into those things, because in the beginning I was just more so talking and it made it look like I was reading from the screen, even though I wasn't. I was trying to sum it up, but my summary sounded a lot like I was just reading what it said and not really understanding it and talking to the people. So I thought that that was very weak point when it came to the debate for me.
You want to add on that real quick, Jay, before I go into her second question? Okay, bad. So let me ask you this. Do you think you learned anything out of that debate?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I learned a lot through my research as well, but I did learn some things from Sister Nepal too, of just being like, okay, really getting into the modern terms of there's some things other than saying that the DNA, the protein coding DNA is 98% alike. There's a lot of other aspects that they allude to that I have to look into, and I think too that we'll have to do some research on. And I brought this up before about the retroviruses. I think there's a lot of questions that we need to ask, even with their summary of human to chimpanzees, like what virus did they use? What happens when we use COVID as a virus and we test it on the different animals? Does it attack the same places in the genome as other mammals? And really testing it on other mammals to humans to see how retroviruses really work. So I really took that from the debate of that's something I really want to get into and study.
Anything on that real quick, Jay?
No, I ain't really got nothing right now. I'll let you know when I do.
Bet. So tell me, Dulcinea, you're gonna keep debating, right?
I mean, I would like to. I would like someone to want to debate me, but it took so long to get someone. I don't know if Real Rap is going to do it or anything, but I definitely would like to continue debating and go further from here, because there's a lot of concepts that we really should be debating in our community, and we just take at face value like, okay, these people said it, so it's true. And I think we need to have these conversations, even if the debate leads us to having the conversation and everyone on one side just believes it, then I would like them to prove it, give us some information and have that information come out so we can test all these things for ourselves.
Right. So, all right. This is this.
Oh, I will say this though, before you get to the next point, I will say this. One of the major points, I say, as far as being a woman, and I'm sure Sister Napa can attest to this and difference, is that it's hard because that's the excuse. You're a woman, so we don't debate men. You can't debate men, but then there's not a lot of women that just want to actually be in a debate. They would rather, discuss, go back and forth, but it's not a lot in the debate realm. So it's kind of hard as far as with getting those debates. And then I'm more so wanting to bring people along. So I'm not trying to have the same debates as everybody's been having. Like, I'm tired of the Hebrew Israelite debate. So I could debate Hebrew Israelite women, but why? Like, I'm tired of that. Let's move forward.
Right, right. So let me ask you this. Every time me and you get into a discussion before the night end, boy, Dulcinea got to give me a rant. Why was you so calm in the debate? And I want you to tell me honestly.
Well, I would say I was more calm in the debate because it wasn't that exchange back and forth, and I end up being more so trying to persuade the audience than trying to debate Nepal. And I would say that that was something that really ended up being a hindrance and why a lot of people do feel like I lost, because they were like, it's a debate. And she sounded more like a teacher up there just doing a presentation. And I think that comes from experience as well, because I've only been used to presentations so far. So that was my first official big debate. So I think going forward, I know is like not to just do a presentation, to really be like, it's not just about the audience understanding the information. It's about defeating Nepal as well in the debate. I have been in debates in school and different things like that as well, but it's a little different from there, because I would say our community definitely wants that battle back and forth, the fire, and not to really just be like information wise. And I could have did that, but I didn't. So I say that is something I fell short in as well.
I got a question for you.
There you go.
Do you
Okay.
do you think that this topic was worth debating? Because some people will say, why did you even debate this topic? So why did you feel like this topic was necessary to debate?
Yeah, I think this topic was worth debating, and I think it's still worth really having a conversation about, because I truly believe this classification is hindering us from moving forward. I know someone in the chat was saying before, when it comes to animals, oh, we already test other animals, but we only test other animals on the basis of what's already in the classification or the ranking systems that we know. So it's exactly like the retroviruses. We haven't tested the retrovirus fully to see how it goes into all mammals, how it goes into these other animals, how does it compare in a bird and compared to human. There's not that research, there's not that evidence, because all they focused on is proving that we're primates. But I think a lot of stuff that we don't really know how to deal with, as far as when it comes to human ailments, come from our lack of really trying to see nature fully and wholly. I think a big problem is the hierarchy that stops us from looking at things holistically. And I think one thing that's going to stop that is saying that an animal group, or saying that we are on top of something that we didn't create.
Yeah, I like that. I like how you're able to think outside the box and actually point out that this is, socially constructed and not necessarily by our people. Um, to me, to me, a lot of these people who disagree with you sound religious. Some people make the case that a lot of them are religious, just in a different way, because they take things that are theories and treat them like they're truth. And I think that's a huge mistake. And the same criticism that they give to religious people, they kind of take on those traits and characteristics themselves. So I don't know necessarily what your belief is, but I want to know, who were you kind of channeling from or using as sources? Like, what types of people were you using as sources for this debate? I'll just say one thing really quick. Believe it or not, some religious people would have actually provided a lot of good points for you against this in this debate. But I want to know, what types of people did you cite?
Yeah, so I did use some of those sources, like the answers and research, answers and Genesis, but I try to keep that in to a minimum, because I knew, as far as what the consensus was going to be, that you're using a religious source, so it's not science anymore. So I try to use a lot of scientific journals, but of course, I know one of her main points was like, do you have a scientific journal that says that we're not primates? And no, we don't have a scientific journal that says that, but there's a lot of scientific journals that question the previous information that was given to us, whether it was the DNA, whether it was DNA versus RNA, and different things like that. And that's where I I tended to hone in on only scientific journals for those particular questions. But I actually do too. I wanted to present that by the end of the night. I'll have you guys just ask questions. But I don't know if Real Thought watches our channel, but he mentioned he did see that I had sources, but he wished that I could have gone through them. And I do have them laid out tonight in Word document so everybody can see all the sources that I used.
Real quick, would you be open to doing a part 2? Like maybe not the same question, but like a rematch that kind of builds on that kind of similar topic? Like, would you go back in the ring again with Nepal?
I'm gonna be completely honest when it comes to this, right? I would definitely be willing to debate Nepal again, but how everything has happened, I feel like she wouldn't want to debate it. I feel like she definitely will say that it's no point because she feels as if people will just be like, oh, you're too aggressive. You're too this for Dulcinea. And I think that was something that she said previously as well with trying to debate me. And that people would go and do that in comparison to a Christina Nick or a Neftali because of their demeanor and how they come. And then it was gonna just be like, oh, you're beating up on her and stuff like that. So I feel like her previous concerns were justified. Whether I like it or not, it was justified.
Go ahead, OTK. You got it, bro.
So maybe a discussion would be more appropriate then.
Oh yeah, and I've had a discussion on our channel before, so we definitely would move forward with that. We would have more conversations, more discussions, me and her, because yeah, we definitely could do that.
Because I definitely understand what you're saying. It's not that she don't want to do it. It's just that what it looks like. You know what I mean? Yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. So Dulcinea, let's get into some of this science stuff, okay? Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. First of all, like my brother Renegade Jay said, why didn't you let people know the definition of a primate from the jump?
And that was really, I had it in my presentation to do that from the jump. But then I was like, oh, she's going to do that. And I assume like she's going to put that in the beginning. So I was like, okay, let me go straight into the scientific racism. But I definitely should have put that in the beginning.
What you think, Jay? Definitely she should have, right?
I was surprised that it didn't come out until Dulcinea, I think, brought it out in the 3rd round. And even when she did have her slide on it, she didn't really spend too much time on it. And a lot of people might say, well, if she read the definition, then that would be the end of the debate. But not really, because if you can question the thing itself, then you could sow doubt that it's even plausible. So, it all comes down to strategy. But again, it's her first debate. We have to remember it's her first debate.
First debate against
a
heavyweight. I mean?
So, yeah.
Right. That's like Tyson going for this championship at 18. You know what I mean? Definitely.
It's also interesting though, because even with other constructs, right, we have a definition of it, but we still will call ourselves that, and people will question it. Like even with the word black or African or this or that. We can read the definition and see what it says, but people still today will question it. And a lot of people will agree, no, we're not black. No, we're not this. No, we're not that. So why, when it comes to primate, the same thing can't be done? Why can't you question who created the word, what their intentions was, what created, and was it based off of myth? Was it based off of science when they created? Like, what was it based on when they created the word? because just because a human created the word and the idea doesn't automatically mean that you have to be that, just because it's their concept. So I wonder why we pick and choose what we do that with.
Because
Like,
it's
why can't we?
subjective.
And I definitely agree, but I would say this: I feel like most of people in regular day life, they don't think about it and they don't believe they're primates. You can, if we went off on the street and start asking people, do you think you're a primate? Do you think you're a primate? A lot of people would be like, no. And it's just like Sonetta said, he thought that was a good point, but that's not a good point. The kids would be like, yeah, we're primates because they're in school. They're being taught this and everything, but the adults will be like, no, we're not primates because it has nothing to do with our lives. It doesn't come up. It's like something that now we can evaluate for ourselves and be like, why were we even taught this? This is dumb. And most of us don't believe it. But I would say that we don't even understand the ramifications of not just being compared to monkeys and apes, but we don't understand the ramifications that come along with us feeling like we are on top of the food chain. Because what has happened is we overfish, we overhunt, we do everything excessively, and it says if a predator takes out too much of the prey, there's a problem that's going to happen. And we see it. We see that we're destroying the planet, and we could easily rectify the planet just by saying, hey, we need all these things, so let's just stop fishing for a while. Let's just stop hunting here for a while. Let it replenish, and nature would replenish it again. But because we still have this mindset that we're greater because we drive cars and we build buildings, then we cut down all the trees. And it's like, how are you going to breathe in that building with no trees? But it's one of those things that we don't understand the importance of nature. And I would think that that's my major concern when it comes to this topic, is making sure we get back to the point is that we're destroying the earth. And a lot of people think, oh, we're destroying the earth, so that means that we can find another place for ourselves. But no, a different form of earth will continue. But what we will do is we will kill the environment for ourselves.
So let me ask you that, Dulcinea. With that being said, do you think that we're the only human race that contributed to destroying the earth?
As far as from the hominins?
I'm saying, period. Anybody who walked upright like us, who built tools, who used life or whatever. Remember, I'm learning from you, so I'm acting
Right. That's
illiterate
why I
as
wanted to make
far as,
sure of like the
yeah, I'm
hominins.
acting illiterate.
I
I'm
think
acting
it is.
illiterate.
I think it is a present day concept. I think there are different things that they were doing, but again, I think there was a balance to what they were doing before, because it's not that you're not supposed to be a predator. The world needs, or this ecosystem needs predators just like it needs prey. If there's too many predators, not enough prey, you're going to destroy the ecosystem. But if there's too much prey and not enough predators, you're going to destroy the ecosystem due to overpopulation. So I think before we understood more of the natural ways, and I think that even goes to indigenous people of the Homo sapiens sapien, before these institutions came with their concepts, with their hierarchies, I believe indigenous people saw themselves as animals, because they said that we need to fit and play our role in the ecosystem, and not saying like we're the most important. And I think that's what really Nepal was showing when she showed those monkeys in Kemet. But I think she didn't understand that that's what that meant. That yes, because of my connection with God, he can tame the animal within me, but these animals are still me.
So let me ask you, Dulcinea, was the European the first to stand upright? In the debate, you brought something out about that stage in the development, where according to their theory, the European would have been the first one to stand upright and come off all fours.
Yeah, Homo erectus.
I don't know. I don't believe that. I can't say I know a date where I would say that we've been walking upright, but I will say, as far as what I believe, is they've mixed and matched bones to say certain people weren't walking upright even when they were. So you can easily take an ape's ancestor, a skull or pelvis bone, and put it with a hominin bone and say these were together, these are the same. And I don't believe those were the same. I don't believe they were even found together. They were falsified to look that way. So when Europeans were walking upright, Africans were walking upright, Americans were walking upright, and probably hominins have been walking upright for a long time, just based on our body structure, how we have to support our skull and our brains, and how we have to give birth, shows most likely we were walking upright.
So do we know that common ancestor that we was before we split?
No, we have hypotheses about that common ancestor and support of different hypotheses, but we do not have a full clarity of a common ancestor before being hominin. So, for instance, I do believe that hominins did exist. I do believe they falsified their bones, but of the hominin lineage, I that did exist. We were hominins, and those would be where our common ancestors lie. That's why even off those hominins, you can find DNA and compare the DNA, and it's not just the bones. Sometimes you can get DNA from the bones inside different things that we can compare because it's recent times. But when you're trying to go back too far where there's no DNA, there will be no way for us to know for sure if something's a common ancestor or not.
Real quick, Dulcinea, hold up. So these what was it, the hominids, they were covered in like hair, right?
No, they said they were covered in hair, but you can't tell that by bones. That's something that they just made an assertion for.
Let's go with their assertion though. Let's go with their assertion. So when the hair started to be removed from their body, what would the skin color have been?
If we're talking about from these primates, they would have been white.
Oh man, I'm done.
Well, under their skin color, they would have been white under those. And she showed that. She showed hairless. She showed a hairless, and the color was more of the white race than it was of an African or a melanated race. I don't believe that. And I would have to see as far as it, but I would think melanin under fur would be a lot. I don't know if a melanated person could have a full fledged of fur. Now, a melanated under hair is fine. I mean, we are hairy. We're still hairy to this day. We have to shave all this other stuff. So we have hair, but it's different from saying being hairy and having fur. So I don't know what the implications would really be of a melanated monkey having melanated skin under fur.
So Dulcinea, let me get this right. So you do believe in evolution. You just don't believe in that we come from primate evolution. Correct
Right,
me.
that's true. I believe as far as the scientific fact that organisms change over time, we can see that organisms change over time. But what we don't know as far as the degrees of speciation that they say, and we know that a lot of it comes from paleontology, saying that the bones show the speciation. But my question has always been, and I do want to show it before the end of the night, when we see bones and they look a certain way, like they say we can look at apes and see that we're related to apes, but then they can show us a bone structure and it can look like a lizard. It can look like maybe a Komodo dragon, and they're like, oh, that was a puppy that ended up being a whale later. And it's like, how, if we can look and observe that we're apes, how can we not look and observe a skeleton and say what species it probably was closest to?
Okay. So, all right. So we don't know who was the common ancestor before we split, right?
Yeah, we only have like
We still
speculation.
trying to find out. We still trying to find out. So we got to stay open for that, because you know what I mean. I agree with that. So if we can't find a common ancestor where we split from, how do we know who we breeded with to become who we are today? How did evolution take place for us if we don't know where our common ancestor came from? Because before the split will let us know that it's still a way for us to breed together, where we can come together and have kids, offspring. So do you know any other breed that we could have breeded with?
No, and that's where a lot of questions about the even species being separated or not. That's why, like Sister Freedom was playing earlier, that they had to come back and say Neanderthals are not Homo sapien. They show no where they said, oh, they're dumb. They didn't have as far as the intelligence. They weren't upright. They were more ape-like. They had to come back and say, you know what? Neanderthals are no more ape-like than anyone. They were Homo sapien as well, because these species were able to procreate with each other, showing that they're the same species. Why are you separating two different species that can procreate with each other? That should show you that they're the same. So I think that's a major problem that we have to do when it comes to these classifications, with how are we finding a common ancestor when we're looking at other groups that couldn't have sex with each other. We would need to be looking at the groups that could have sex with each other, because that's where a mother and father lineage would come from.
Facts. Okay, man, Queen, and I appreciate everything, and all the answers that you've been given. Um, if you want to share your screen or anything like this for my last two questions, and you can answer both of these at one time. And I just want you to go into a build. Um, the other night, you showed me some things that you went into in your debate, but you didn't have enough time to elaborate more in your debate. And you showed me some things with trees and all kind of stuff like that. So, and I want to close. I want to close with these last two questions, and then you answer it, and then so the sisters them can get back in, and you open the panel or whatever. Um, but you showed a bunch of stuff the other day, and
Yeah.
we had to delete those videos. So I just want you to go into that more. But my two questions for you is, what is Scientology and what is evolution? And I want you to take those two questions, go into a build, and just do you. And I want to appreciate you for letting me interview you and Unscramble Minds. Thank y'all. I'ma stay, but I'ma just let Sister rant for a second, man, and show her screen or do whatever you gotta do. Um, thank you, Queen Dulcinea.
Yeah, thank you. This has been awesome. And like everyone was saying in the chat, you have some awesome questions. I really enjoyed this, and really getting to have people get into my mindset and my mind frame of my beliefs. So that was very cool. Let me go ahead and share my screen for your first question of Scientology. And like my sister has said a lot of times, when it comes to this, because Sakina will bring this up all the time, that science does have a religion. They have a religion, and it is Scientology. So I'm not going to go into watching the video, but you'll see that Scientology is a religion that offers precise path to leading to a complete and certain understanding of one's true spiritual nature and one's relationship to self, family groups, mankind, all life forms, the material universe, and the spiritual universe. So really, Scientology is that religion that's going in and saying, oh, we can actually learn these things. We can learn our origins. We can know everything through science, and we can know everything about how we started, everything about mankind, everything about spirituality. We can end up learning it through Scientology. And I think science has really brought a lot of those concepts in. Science says we can know a lot of things that we can't know or that we don't know. And then they say we know it when we don't. So I would say Scientology is just that religious force saying, like, I have science backing me, and this is the origin of man, this is the origin of life. I can explain everything and know everything through Scientology. The difference between evolution is that evolution is just the observation that things are changing over time. The observation that I can see a certain species in a certain area, and I can see how their color has changed, their size has changed, their maybe they had what is it, that like elephants have a trunk, and maybe at some point they had little not like antlers, but the tucks that are outside of the trunk, and now they don't have the tucks, or the tucks are on the inside. Well, maybe one time they had gills that were closer to their eyes, but then it went further down. So it's just the observation of change over time, and seeing, why is this change taking place? Why are things changing in the way they are? And that is all that evolution is just that observation of change, and then making hypotheses or a sound theory about those observation of changes. But I believe that when it comes to a lot of the principles under evolution, is they don't make sound theories. They just tie it all in and put a stamp, like, things change over time, so this is true. Like, no, just because we know things change over time does not mean that every principle under evolution or every theory under evolution is correct.
I want to make a comment. I'll say, I think their religion is actually called scientific Methodists, right? Because they live and die by the scientific method. But any real scientist who's honest is going to let you know that science and research always has limitations. So you should never be sticking your head out here acting like what you're saying is the absolute truth and getting mad at people that disagree with you. You do not have the absolute truth. You have limitations within your method. It should always be noted, and an honest person will acknowledge and say that. Whether you're in college doing research, whether you're a research professor or a professional scientist, you need to always acknowledge the limitations of your research. It's not infallible. And that's why I call the religion the scientific Methodist religion, because they act like everything that they say is the absolute truth. And the same critiques that they give to religious people and other people can actually be applied to them themselves. So that's what I would call it.
And I agree. I would say, though, the basis of the scientific method is not that, but how they use it is that. Because you can look up the scientific method right now, and it will tell you that you're always supposed to ask questions. It's a circle. There's no answer, and they make it seem like it's linear, and it's not. It's a circle. You always go back to the top, and then you ask a question, and you go in and you do research, and you go, and then you say, okay, this, and you ask the next question. And if the next question tweaks it a little bit, you go back up to the top, because it's like, no, now I have to go back to the top because that second way around didn't make it all the way around. So now we got to go back and formulate a new thing. But that's what science is doing. But what they would like us to see it as linear. They would like us to see science as, oh, we did this, we came to this conclusion, it's the fact. And that's not how science works. And I think it comes from our lack of having a holistic view. And I do believe that's what racism gave us. We tend to say, oh, well, when you're looking at science, you got to look at this particular one. Or if we're talking about biology, we have to talk about biology. We're talking about paleontology, we just talk about paleontology. But the truth is that all those are combined in a holistic manner when you're talking about these things. So you can't just say, oh, we're not addressing biology right now, we're addressing paleontology. No, we're addressing all those factors, and we have to bring in all those factors to see the holistic truth of it. But when people say, oh, I can just focus on one or the other, they end up saying I can draw a conclusion from that, and that's just incorrect.
Dulcinea, I want to give you kudos and commend you because you're challenging mainstream ideas. People don't like it. They get upset. I just said something that was 100% factual, and I already see how the chat could get emotional, that science has limitations, but none of them would come to me and tell me that that's not true. So I want to commend you for challenging the mainstream thought and not being afraid to actually step outside the box and think for yourself. Because in the debate, for the first 2 rounds, I felt like that's what was missing. There was a lot of reading, documentation, and the studies. But the best part for me, for both of you and the pod, was when you guys actually started to process the information and communicate it authentically yourselves. So
yes,
I just want to give you credit for that, because even when I have disagreed with you in the past, that's been something that you've always been strong at. And I do believe that you believe what you say, whether I agree with you or not. I think you honestly believe the things that you're saying, at least 90 to 95% of the time. I won't say all the time. So I just want to give you credit for being a thinker, because that's needed. And a lot of people done been rocked to sleep, and they accept everything that's fed to them, whether it's science, religion, or whatever it is, and they don't actually think about it themselves. So I give you credit for just being a thinker. It's very powerful. I appreciate people like that. I love that about you. And, so I just want to give you your credit and say that.
And I want to say I love that about you guys too. I know it could seem like I was coming at you guys a little hard sometimes or anything, but you guys always made me think. So that's why I would come at you hard. So even if I was like, oh, well, I'm a Moor and it's this or that, you've made me think like, okay, well, who wrote it? Who wrote that you're reading from? Who's this? Even if it's like, oh, this is the U.S. government saying it's a Moor. Well, then where are they? Where are they saying that they're Moors? And then what documentation do you have? What laws do they actually have before this law that the U.S. government gave? So I just commend you guys on that, and we've had our Indian talks like that have really given me a lot of information. And, I went back and I was like, you know what, OTK, you are Indian. I did the research and you look just like them.
I didn't believe you. I was like, man, quit playing with me. You trying to set me up. I ain't got no time to play with you.
No, I really did. And I was like, man, I found someone that looked just like OTK.
We just want y'all to know, man, we appreciate y'all, period. You know what I mean? We can't wait for the debate to get posted up so we can really get into a real review, critique into it. Dulcinea, and I hope when it does get showed, I hope that we round table gang get to really get into a critique, because right now we only critiquing you. We can't critique each subject, like go into what y'all was going into as far as that, the information. We're gonna wait until that show. You know what I mean? But
right.
You
so
are
how do you guys
so
feel about staying up here? I see a lot of this going on in the chat, and it seems like Unc really wants to come up really bad and talk to all of us. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I was gonna ask you one last question.
Okay.
Is there any topics that you actually look forward to debating, or anything that you kind of want to get into? Like, where are you heading to next?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really trying to expand on DNA, more on knowledge. So I definitely want to go into more DNA topics. Obviously, I do want us to go into this. Can DNA tell us what region that we're from, and should we be looking into DNA to give us an idea of what country or what tribe that we're actually from. But I want to bring that forward too, and just more debates and more information on DNA. So we do research past that too, of just what can we find out about DNA that we don't know right now, because we know so little about it. But I see DNA as that divine instruction. DNA is that like intelligent design. So, and I believe in intelligent design, not necessarily that the designer is God, but I do believe in intelligent design, and DNA is proof of that.
Word. You know what I like? Yo, if we put out a question like, what's 2 + 2? Everyone would say 4, right? We wouldn't argue it. Nobody would get emotional or anything like that. But you have the round table come up here, interview Dulcinea, and say some things, and I see a whole bunch of emotions in the chat. So that lets me know that if you're not standing on something that's objective, right? Objective and just the truth, you would not be feeling any type of way about none of the stuff I'm saying. So really question why you guys feel emotional right now. Because before you come up in here, really analyze why you feel emotional right now. Why you want to say, Renegade J, put your dukes up, or let me at him, or Bobby Banger's waiting, or whatever. Really analyze why you guys feel the way you feel.
Because 2 + 2 = 5.
It might be 6 or 7.
You know what I'm talking about? Gang.
Facts.
But
Or maybe we shouldn't even be doing whole numbers at all.
It's up to y'all. Thank you, Dulcinea. We streamed it on our channel too. But we gonna say we ain't running. We always learning. We don't say we know everything. We don't know shit. You know what I'm talking about?
And I appreciate you guys and that other stream. You guys know why I was late, but I really appreciated that stream. I thought it was really amazing. These critiques only help me, and I really like hearing from the people that actually care about me, honestly, because like I said before, there can be anyone that can tell me to do something to mimic someone else, but there's people that actually know me and that have been talking to me and building with me, then they are more equipped to tell me this is what you could do better next time as yourself, and not as you trying to be like another debater, but you being you. So that's why I appreciate you guys so much. And ladies, are you still with us? I don't know. Nisha, you didn't fall asleep, right?
Girl, if you don't drop the link so that they can get this party started. Because I'm getting no Renegade to sit here and let them know what's up and have gang be done.
I want to know it's 2 + 2 = 6.
Maybe it could be 5. It could be 5. Gang. Oh.
So funny.
We patiently while they going off in the chat. So let this chat come hit the link, and then let's hear what they got to say.
Wait, but before I dropped the link, but before Unc comes up here, Juju, does Unc know that you said I won, or was that just you just being nice? I'm just playing, Juju.
Shots fired. She agreeing that you gave a perspective. Like
I wasn't wrong. I don't know what's up. Juju, do Unc know that Juju agreed with me?
Right, it was a perspective.
She didn't say she agreed with me, but she said that I didn't get dragged by Nepal like Unc did.
Oh yeah, no, he said you got beat down, girl. He was like, she got beat up.
Overall, though, Gemini and y'all in Unscramble Mind. Overall, though, I think there was a good interview with Dulcinea. I look forward to doing one with all of y'all. And I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all. That's all I can say, man. And
we appreciate you too, always.
I go on.
That was a wonderful interview.
That was people tuned in for it, so they didn't hit the unlike button. So you must have did a good job.
Right. You was like Dulcinea. Did you leave your panties on the table or were they I'm just kidding.
Oh man, you know what? Oh gosh, Tina.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm thinking this.
You could have been a good interrogator. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like if you waiting to jump out of cake.
Was that chocolate on your lip or was that
I know that you do. That's why I was just messing with you. I know, because we really love each other at the end of the day.
I got a question about chocolate. Was that that was Renegade? He said, speaking of chocolate, I got a question about chocolate. I want to know no. Peace, Bobby. I mean, Mr. West. Peace, Mr. West.
What's up?
How are you, friend?
I'm pretty good. How y'all doing? I want to talk to Renegade.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. What's popping, bro?
Hey, Renegade.
What's going on?
If you are an intelligent person, right? Not calling you, not saying you're not, right? And you make a statement that's not even what the particular field ever says, then how would you feel about taking that statement back?
Well, you use if, so let's not use if and let's just be right to the point.
Just saying, well, come on, man. When you make a statement that is actually characterizing,
you're using conditional terms, bro.
Together, would you take it back?
Don't use when, don't use if. Talk about me specifically.
Yo, come on,
cite
man.
me correctly.
Come on,
and
bro.
let's not do no conditionals. Be direct, bro.
Man,
what did I say that you didn't like?
Why not stay on the good foot?
Well, we're gonna stay off on the right foot. We get the left foot. We're gonna stay on the right foot. So what did I say specifically that you disagree with?
I don't like your level of contention already. I'm coming in a good, joyful, clarity. I want clarity. I'm no longer getting mad.
Me too. That's why I'm like, what we talk about when and if. Let's be clear. What did I say that you didn't like?
No, it wasn't that you said something I didn't like. You characterized science completely wrong. And you can find no source that would say that science ever said it knew everything. And science doesn't even look for the truth. Only you think it does. Science looks for approximates. Always has. That's what it is.
Here's
and so it's counterintuitive. So you're not gonna understand it. You keep saying what's your famous statement you made about 10 times up here?
Oh, you like that one, huh? Yeah.
But
now what I'm referring to, what I'm referring to though is not you or what other people know. I'm referring to what's commonly believed about science, where some people think that it's just objective fact. So it may not be you that have that perception. It may not be the pseudo killers that have that perception, but there are some people that take that position, and that's who I'm addressing. So if it's not you, you don't even got to worry about it, bro.
No, I'm gonna worry about it because that's all science does. Science deals with objective truth, yo. Not subjective truth. It deals with objective truth, man. Talking about it deals with raw data. Has nothing to do with your opinion. Subjective.
Science?
So science.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Go ahead.
That's
no, let him talk. Let him talk.
I'm just saying, man, whether I'm just
all
saying
the deals with objective truth.
Listen, the field of science deals with objective.
Wait, hold on. Watch this. Wait, Jay, hold on. Because he loves saying this. Hey, are there branches of science?
Yeah, man, come on, yo.
Okay. Are the social sciences part of the branches of science?
No, we're talking about evolution right now.
No. You didn't say evolution. You said science. No. Don't do that.
No, I'm talking
Don't do that.
The hard sciences, yo.
No, so be specific about what you're talking about. You're talking about the natural sciences.
Why are you so loud right now, though? Yo,
you're talking.
But I'm not
get loud too, bro. Turn up. It's all good, bro. Turn up.
You talking about the natural sciences. As a college educated person, I understand that there are many branches to science. There's many branches of science that do deal with subjectivity. Psychology is a social science. Sociology is a social science.
Yo, I'm not talking to you, yo.
Okay, but you're wrong. Take your statement back.
No, I'm not wrong. We talking
You
about
are.
evolution.
All that's round table, bro.
You might need to clarify his
So
statement.
hold on. So basically,
Yeah, change your statement, brother. Change your statement. You need to clarify what you said.
Everybody to know. When I try to come up and be a gentleman, niggas get real fucking loud. When I'm chilling and relaxed, niggas get real fucking
we got
jumpy,
consistent stuff.
I can never have a normal, calm down conversation. They will not allow it.
Yeah,
loud as fuck. I wasn't even talking to you, Trout.
That loud talking,
we talking about evolution, yo. We're not talking about nothing else.
Yo, we good.
Talking about evolution,
no, okay. I'm gonna bring it down.
The interview was about a debate dealing with primates and evolution, and then you dive into some motherfucking social science.
Yeah, you know why? You know why? Wait, let me ask you a question. Hey, Bobby Banger. Bobby Banger, we about to see how much you know. What field of science? What field of science? What field of science? No. What field of science? What field of science? What field of science? He just run out his mouth.
One mic.
No, I'm trying to figure out
real weird.
No, we good. See, conversations don't. You know what? You know why we so fucking ignorant? I'm saying we. Because
right now it's because you cuss unnecessarily.
He's good. Let him rock.
I said we. I included myself. The fact that I'm up here yelling is some dumbass shit these days. But do you realize, yo, that I actually attempted to have an intelligent conversation?
Yeah,
and I wasn't loud, I wasn't out of order, and I was talking to a specific person.
Yeah, but you throwing fucking shade
about
OTK.
I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna bring it down.
Oh my God.
Who the fuck said you intelligent, man? Come on, man.
Hold on.
You see what you did, right?
God damn, we got
we gonna bring it down. We gonna bring it down.
You see what you did, right?
Let Truist go in. Fill out OTK.
Yeah, please. All right. So you're right.
The conversation. Hold on, then you yell, let the nigga go in. I wasn't even talking to him. I was having a relaxed, conversation with one person.
Yeah,
the other nigga get loud. Then OG, whatever the fuck, he get loud, and then you, the woman, howl out, go ahead in. So we don't want to have a conversation. So it's better for me not to be here and have an intelligent conversation.
Oh my God!
So made it both of us might have
Hold on, everybody. Let that be your choice if you want to be here or not. But what we'll go ahead and establish.
And then you jump in. Hold on. Then you jump in.
No. Okay, because
he was talking to me.
I'm saying,
to be fair, he was talking to me.
Whose platform again? So all I was gonna say is that let's get a timer up. We'll get a timer up for 3 minutes. Everybody will get to take their turn. 3 minutes to give your view.
Dulcinea, I didn't take no time.
Why you can't let her say what she gotta say?
Because she cut me off in the middle of talking.
Okay, well,
I didn't do that.
That's whose time it is. I was just about to ask whose turn it is.
I wasn't even talking. I was talking to the
turn. Is it your turn?
Yeah, but it's about to be a time now.
Yeah,
it's about to be a time
now. Y'all don't understand that I was in the middle of having a conversation. Nobody was talking long. We said 2 words apiece.
I ain't mad at you, bro.
The other nigga from college dove in the conversation. He dove into the conversation. Wow. Got slick and loud. Start talking about social science. And now we here. Like we ain't got.
Okay. But the thing is about it, why there's going to be a time? Because there's more than just you two that are on the platform. So 3 minutes is a well enough time to get your point across. You can definitely go first, but it will be a 3-minute timer that starts.
Dulcinea, you act like I was on here pulling up PowerPoints. We was just having a simple conversation. The nigga from college dove in to prove he went to college. We wasn't doing none of that. I was talking to the gentleman.
I do get that. I know. I
right,
just want to make sure everybody gets
I ain't wrong all the time and I ain't right all the time, but damn.
Okay, but can we just continue?
Yeah,
everybody
they cut you off.
Y'all did cut him off.
Y'all did cut him off. Because he was talking and he was talking calm.
And then him and OTK, then OTK came in, then the rest of y'all all jumped in.
Okay, but
Exactly,
now,
and that's what we're trying to
Get back.
stop.
Oh
And
my
that's all we're
God,
trying to
yo! Can
stop
we
right
just get
now.
back to it? Can we just
yeah,
get back
Yes.
to it?
So,
let
Okay,
him
can
go.
y'all
3
Yo,
minutes.
no,
y'all take a
hold
Three
on.
chill pill?
minutes. Your
You know what
Don't
though?
go
You know what
nowhere.
though?
Don't
You
go
know,
nowhere.
nah.
We're
You know
good,
what
bro.
though? You
We're
know what
good.
though?
We just need it.
I'm a blame. I'm a blame the behavior on myself, right? Because maybe sometimes my behavior ain't what y'all think it should be. But I actually tried to say, check this out, man. I just want to talk to the young brother and let him know that some of the things was wrong that he was saying. I wasn't trying to get over
In your
here and do
opinion.
nothing, yo.
In your
And I'm
opinion, though.
saying I should be allowed to do that. Even when I make mistakes, I should be allowed to come over here, act like I got some sense, and everybody say, damn, that nigga acting like he got some sense. Leave him alone. I don't want to talk long. I'm talking to that guy. That's all I was doing, yo.
Well, let's
Y'all
get
don't
back
gotta
That's
to it. I'm
not,
jump
right here.
me.
hold on
Oh
before you
my
jump back to it.
God.
Hold on, because that's just not the format that we go into. So we want to
So
make
what's
sure
the
everyone
format?
gets a turn to, we want to make sure
What
everyone
are we
gets a turn
doing?
to speak.
I want
So
Unc to
let
talk so
you
I can
speak.
correct what he
Yeah,
said.
let
I really want him to
talk,
talk.
and then it'll be Renegade next, and then Truist after Renegade, and then Unc can go back after that. Okay, so it's Unc, Renegade, then the Truist,
I know I'm just
and
talking
not back and
renegade.
forth.
I'm just
Right.
talking renegade though.
Go
And
ahead,
I was
please.
saying that when you deal with science, right, and we're dealing with the hard scientists, because y'all interviewed Dulcinea on a hard science, dealing with primate and primate evolution. So I simply said science deals with objective truth, not subjective. That's all I said.
And I disagree with that. Science attempts to provide objective truth, but sometimes there are limitations which doesn't allow it to. So if you want to talk about a hard science, let's talk about something with like DNA. For example, sometimes there are cases and cultures where a certain group of people do not want to provide their DNA to the people who are doing the testing. Therefore, when it's time to actually do the results and see if your DNA aligns with this group or that group, they don't even have enough samples from one group to align your DNA with. So what about that could be objective if sometimes there are social and cultural barriers that get in the way from them collecting data? So I would correct you and say that some sciences attempt to provide objective truths according to the data, but the data collection itself isn't even objective sometimes. So how can it be objective? It's only
Man,
objective according to what they can gather. They can't always gather everything.
So the fact that you would say the things that you would say, just like you just said it,
don't smoke screen.
It's so
Deal with what I'm
interesting
saying.
because you just threw the whole audience off, but you didn't throw me off.
You're
You only
gaslighting.
can. I'm not. You can only collect the data. That's it, right? And the strength in the data is the amount that you get. So they already
Right.
know the strengths and weaknesses based off of the limited data. You think they just sitting
That's what
around
I
saying,
so
"Oh,
you
listen."
agreeing with me
So
though,
they
bro?
no.
I
What I'm
said there's
saying is the way
limitations.
man, the way you doing, you mischaracterizing it. So
Okay, go
we
ahead,
know
bro.
the strength and weaknesses based off of the amount of data we collected, but we're still finding the objective truth in it. That's it's simple. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Listen, sometimes the limitation isn't even in the amount though. Sometimes it could be the way things are framed, the way that they're even framing their mindset around the
Facts.
conclusion. It's not
Facts,
always
Renegade.
just simply, oh, there's a limited amount. So you can't just say it's only that, bro. There's
Yeah,
more. There are
that would be
holes.
pseudoscience. But that would be pseudoscience to do that though. That's not actual science.
Sometimes it's not pseudoscience. Sometimes it could be a cultural thing, bro.
No,
Sometimes people work from a cultural framework
that's why I
when they're
don't
doing
work.
experiments.
But that's why I don't work because science trump culture. Because everybody has a different culture and everybody has a different way of expressing this and that. So if your culture is not participating in the DNA study, then you left the fuck out, and we'll get to another culture that ain't afraid of it. That's how that works.
No, I'm not talking about who's conducting the study. That's not what I'm talking
No,
about.
you said culture. Some
Right,
culture
and
doesn't allow for certain things. That's fine. If your culture does
not what
not
I'm
allow for
saying.
us to use a ruler to measure, then nigga, y'all missed the measurement then. But you're
Okay,
not gonna change the measure by
I
saying throwing a spook practice into it. That's the point I'm making.
I understand what you're saying, but that's not what I'm saying.
What are you
Respectfully.
saying? What are you saying
So
respectfully?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is the limitations aren't always in the amount of samples you have. Sometimes the limitations is how you actually conduct the study, who you choose to sample, how you frame your research. Your method could also be influenced by the culture. Why you choose to go over here and interview or test this person and not that person right there. There are always limitations, bro. It's always based off of a person's philosophy and the way that they think that the study should be conducted. Whereas me and you could do a similar test, right? I might do it differently than you. And I might, because I did it differently, I might get different results than you. So what is the objective truth in that? If me and you could go after and do the same similar research, but me and you could come to different conclusions.
Thank you. You just proved the point. You just proved the point, because that's exactly how they do it. We'll take the same data, right, and we'll try doing it different ways, and then we will reach an approximate on it. That is the issue. That is how science is done. And by the way, in the scientific papers, hold on. In the scientific papers, what they do is, which makes you wrong, is they actually list the limitations of the study. That's how science actually
That's what I said. I said this an hour ago, bro.
I know, but they listed though. Why would you list something? They're not trying to hide it. So then you're telling us something that they're not trying to hide. And then
someone tell him that I said this, and then you'll understand that you're agreeing with what I said
already,
earlier,
and you're agreeing with what he said. He said that the people that try to advocate this act like there's no limitations, even though the real scientists note the limitations in the study.
I know, but no pseudo killer do that though. Nobody that's advocating scientific. Nobody that's scientifically literate does that. Not the crew I'm on. We don't do that. Yeah,
I think honestly, bro, I think you're misunderstanding a lot that's being set up here.
I'm misunderstanding. Hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on.
I'm misunderstanding.
I'm playing a game and talking to you, and I'm hearing you, and I'm seeing how you're so off from the things that we're saying. It's almost like you're not really listening, bro.
So let me get this straight. Hold on, I just want to make this straight. I spent the better part of 15 years so that I could have this conversation with you and not fuck it up. And you sitting here telling me that I'm messing it up?
I'm telling you, messing it up, bro.
Okay, so since you think that a philosophy,
just like science ain't perfect, you not perfect, bro.
Last minute, and we're going to the next person.
Science not perfect.
This is not personal. It's about the information. So no personal.
It's not personal at all. It's not personal.
That's not personal.
Okay. I mean, it's the truth.
No person is perfect.
Why y'all doing that? Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. No, science is not. Human beings aren't perfect. Mistakes are made. Wrong numbers are jotted down. Mistakes occur all the time in science, but that's why it's science, because it's self-correcting. So if I plug the data in based off of an astronomical observation, and in reality, it was actually a piece of dirt on the screen, and I think that was a star, and I plug it in, I think come to this conclusion, and then they run the data again and say, wait a minute, that didn't actually happen. Neil deGrasse talks about this mistake he made in an observatory. So no one has ever said that science is perfect. What we do know is better than running around and making conclusions based off your culture. We do know that.
All right, thank you. The Truist, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I was only responding to his statement about science dealing with objective truths. And he's correct when he's talking about, as he calls it, the hard sciences. But what he's really trying to reference are the natural, earth, and physical sciences, which would be things such as physics, biology, and chemistry. Now, I asked him about the branches of science because anyone that truly deals with the subject matter understands that the social sciences dwell outside of these things. The social sciences deal with the subjective, and they do not claim to deal with hard objective facts, and they are sciences. Sociology, psychology, economics, and he's talking about the subject matter of are humans primates is not dealing with the social sciences. That's funny because he loves throwing the word anthropology around, and I'm not sure if he's aware whether or not that anthropology itself is a branch of social sciences. Anthropology is not a natural or physical science. Now, it deals with biology. It uses biology in the social science, but the actual field of study, anthropology, which is the study of human history, right? It is a social science. Now, archaeology, which is something different, could be considered one of the applied earth sciences. but it's separate from anthropology.
Facts, the truest. OTK, go ahead and unmute. And before you go, OTK, we're gonna go to Skinny Head, and then we're gonna get you to close out Skinny Head so you can drop down, let somebody else up. Roundtable gang ain't leaving. Go ahead and talk, OTK.
Yeah, you can go ahead and let everybody else go, man. All I got to do is just say, you know, everything good, man. It's just when you come for round table, you know what I mean. I got to stand up, you know what I mean. You can't bully us over here. That's all I'm saying. We good. We talk after.
And look, yo, let's keep it a fact though, right? We ain't just one group that go off of one thing. We all different. We always got to say this. This is why we so strong. You might try to come at me with science. I got truest right there. You want to come with religion? I got OTK right there. So don't think you're gonna catch us off guard because we on point.
Facts. Okay, Skinny Head, go ahead and get.
Who was that? No, who said that? Who said that though?
That was Renegade J that just said that. And then
Renegade.
You know who it is. Come on, man. Don't play that.
Renegade. Hey, all you gotta do is actually just set it up, yo. Set up the intelligent conversation, yo.
We do that every time we go live. We ain't gotta set it up. We do that every time we go live.
No, actually set up a topic, right? And we'll just have intelligence. If you get loud, you're eliminated from the conversation. If you get rude, you're eliminated from the conversation. We're putting rules on this thing now. Because that's the only way y'all really can win is get loud, act crazy. Now we want to put parameters on it. Let's just have an intelligent conversation like we doing now.
All right, let's have the conversation. Let's have the conversation. I know the conversation. I know, wait. I know the conversation we can have. We can have the conversation. Is science dealing only with objectivities? Because that was your claim.
No, it wasn't, and you know it was.
Yes, it was.
He realized it was wrong.
Yeah, unless you change your statement. You said science only deals with the objective.
There's no room on the panel right now, so that's why Skinny Head will talk next, and then he'll drop off, and then someone else will be able to come on after that. Go ahead, Truist.
Hey, Truist, when I say intelligent conversation, what I'm simply saying is, if we're doing a whole interview on primate evolution, I'm not going to come in and start talking about sociology, yo. I'm going to come in and talk about the hard sciences that we use to understand that.
Hey, what field of science is anthropology in?
Anthropology houses a couple of things: evolution, archaeology.
If you go to a university, why'd you cut me off though? If you go to a university, what branch does anthropology fall under on a scholastic academic level?
No, what did you tell me?
Social sciences. If you have a degree in anthropology, you have a degree in the social sciences.
Okay.
When you gotta get an anthropology class, you have to go through the social sciences side. Go ahead, Skinny Head.
So I don't know why you said that, but okay. I don't know what
because the social sciences deal with subjectivity.
It went over your head, bro.
Yeah. I've never heard a person mix it like that before.
It's the truth, and we can do a show on it. We can have a conversation on it.
My fault. I thought anthropology actually housed some hard sciences, and it also has the social study of cultures. All that is in anthropology. So I didn't know y'all limited to just that. My fault. I apologize.
I already mentioned how anthropology incorporates archaeology and biology. It uses hard and natural sciences and earth sciences to make its conclusions, but the overall field, it is a a social study. It's a social field of science.
Because it studies
it draws a subjective conclusion on human history.
Right, based off of a whole lot of factors. It's the study of it.
Yeah, but so does psychology. Psychology, right? They conduct data and studies, right? They don't just make conclusions by philosophizing in psychology. So it's the same process. Psychologists use the scientific method. Sociologists use the scientific method. They just draw subjective conclusions.
So, but the conversation was about primates, though.
And primates is dealing with anthropology.
And it was about the statement that the brother made.
No, you made a general statement about
No,
science and you
so
got corrected on it.
no,
That's what
okay.
happened.
Hey, but guess what? If I got corrected on it, I don't have a problem with that, brothers.
All right, cool.
Right.
All right, skinny head, go ahead.
But I know what you was talking about, though. So let's keep that straight. Let's not be silly. Just for the record.
Yeah, we good,
Unmute
man.
yourself. Unmute yourself, skinny head.
Yo, Skinny, what's good, bro?
Is he still there?
Yeah, you're gonna have a countdown, or I'm gonna have to kick you. Unmuting in 5.
Can you hear? Are you there?
I'm sorry. I was waiting. I'm sorry. Hello. Testing. Okay.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Unc ain't in here
You
by
better act
himself.
like you want to say something.
Unc ain't in. The first thing I want to say, don't y'all be trying to jump Unc like y'all be doing me when I come over here.
Oh,
And
Don't get jumped right now.
Skinny Fred. I mean, Skinny Head.
y'all, I heard the loophole y'all was creating with the whole science ain't perfect stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not, and nobody never said it was. And when y'all create that loophole, it's like y'all only use it on points y'all disagree about. Like even the whole scientific racism stuff, all of that. That don't be the point or the conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. But y'all only bring it up when it don't fit y'all points and narratives. And that's dangerous, actually. Now let me get my adrenaline.
But isn't that how you win?
Okay.
So if I wanted to win,
no.
why couldn't I use something in my best and why couldn't I use something that would help me win, whether it was in my interest or not? Why would I use something that continually helps you out?
Good question.
I'm getting in next here. Hold on, skinny kid. I'm getting in here next because
see this what y'all do though. Y'all ask 5 questions. Okay.
Oh no, we're not. I'm not asking 5 questions.
No, that's one question. Dulcinea just talking.
I'm just talking.
She's trying to explain something.
Absolutely incorrect of your analysis of what was said, because that shows me that you didn't actually listen to the conversation to know what was said. Because Renegade J, hold on, I'm not done, and that's what y'all always do. You don't get to cut me off, and you're not going to. So calm down and listen. Renegade J never said that science doesn't include the fallacy and doesn't, or of the limitations, I'm sorry, or doesn't address the fallacies, or don't go into actually testing everything. We clearly said science does that. Now, what was said is the people that argue science will not admit to these limitations, will not admit to the things that our science are saying, and they act like science is the absolute truth of things, which science isn't even saying that. Now, you can address the question and you can address what actually is being said, but you cannot say anyone on this panel said science didn't do it. We said you people acting like your scientists do.
Okay, thank you. I never said any of that. That's you be having conversations with yourself. I love you though. Now
I need you to be starstruck like you on Sonata.
I wanted to know how come we can't tip the conversation in our favor in any direction. What's wrong with that? That was addressing his question.
So that's the whole. Now it depends what you're trying to do. Are you trying to uncover the truth, or are you trying to win a debate? Now, if you're trying to win a debate, win an argument, prove a point, and that's your whole goal. That's like let's act like I'm married, and if I'm arguing with my wife, my goal is not to prove a point. I may have to prove several points within our argument or conversation, but my goal is to keep my family together, or my goal is to show her I'm telling the truth and building trust, or it's not just to win that argument or to just make a
but
point.
Skinny, what you said was, as it pertains to what we're talking about, you said, well, sometimes you guys say things that only you're only subjective when it comes to what it is that you're talking about. And as it pertains to this, when you're talking about offside or if you're talking about Renegade J, whichever has the best, whichever person, even in a non-formal debate, has the best, right? Has the best argument, technically wins. But they're trying to conversate to build to get to that point. And so what if it's one-sided? It's up to the other person to balance it out and make it an even side deal. He can't do that. He or she can't do that. What's the problem?
No, it's not a problem. That's why I say it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about a debate, that's what I'm saying. Listening, y'all, listening skills. If you're talking about a debate, we've witnessed people make stuff up to win a debate. Ain't no rules with winning a crowd over. I thought what I was actually commenting on was science. So when you're dealing with science, you go off the data and facts. You don't add stuff or make stuff up because you're like, oh, okay. I can't figure out how to part the C, so I'ma just make up a part. You get what I'm saying? That's all I was saying.
So now you gonna come in here with your set of rules. Is all I hear you saying is that, hi, my name is Skinhead, and I'm also bringing in a third set of rules because I don't like the first or second. And that's what people do. So I'm not understanding and following your point.
Yeah, he ain't actually say that though.
I didn't say any of that. That's what's going on here.
Yeah.
No, he wanted to know why was this seeming like a one-sided conversation? And I'm saying it was
no,
not.
I didn't. That's not what I said.
Yeah, that one.
That's not what I said either.
He lied and said he wasn't talking about. He just lied.
I'm gonna get y'all. Let's see.
No,
hold on. I'm clarifying first,
clarify,
and then you can clarify next. So what he came in here to do was to say that the people on the other side, whether it be we are primates, whether it be anyone that is questioning, says that science is just is never subjective and never says questions itself. And he came here to say that that's not true. Science does do those things, but no one on this panel ever said science didn't do that.
Huh?
Next, skinny head. No one on this panel said science.
What did I just? Hey, man. Hey, Ark. I did my own 15 special one day, man, because I was homeschooled. I couldn't read. I couldn't read to the age of 16, but I get around some people and I be like, I'm a goddamn genius.
Get around Dulcinea. Yo, she's definitely the best I've ever ran up against you.
Hey, man,
y'all
guards is up too high. I ain't say none of that stuff, and then I'm trying to even. Y'all won't even allow me to clarify it.
Yeah,
I came in, made one joke, and said Ankh is not in here by himself. Yep. Secondly, I heard the exchange between him and Renegade when Renegade was saying about it's certain limitations or details that scientists won't speak on.
I never said that. No, I never said that.
That's not true. He didn't say that. That's what I keep telling you. Listening is an art. He never said that. And I told you 3 times.
I'm saying, listen, that's why I listen. I'm telling y'all. Remember,
I'm telling you what you just said.
Hold up, bro. You calm down.
Why y'all yelling?
I just told him 3 times that's what he said, and that's what he lied about again to just say the exact same thing. So I'm gonna repeat what was said on this panel, so you know what was said, and you can stop lying about what Renegade Jet said. And if you unmute yourself again, you're getting kicked because we got other people trying to get on. We ain't got time for you to lie on Renegade J. What Renegade J said was that the scientific method, when scientists use it, scientists are truthful about the limitations that they find in their studies. But what people will do is take those same studies that show their limitations and act like there's no limitations available in that study. So now address his point. Address his point or go.
Fact.
You want me to? I can address that.
So okay, that's
was I doing as you doing? Because I don't want to get kicked off.
if I'm allowed to address that.
All right, go ahead, brother. Because I
can agree.
got him right.
A lot of human beings do that. The people at the bottom don't never know what the experts at the top know, and they don't sometimes display it or practice it, or even communicate it, even have conversations properly about it. So I agree with you. Now, but I still stick to my same point. We will find stuff like this, and we will point the finger with it, but we don't use it to help straighten out and correct our own information. That's what I'm.
I want to ask Unc a question.
Would anybody like some tea?
Yes. I would like to
finish of it right here on this panel.
Oh,
yeah.
Can I finish the point?
Renegade J.
So it's the way Renegade did. He actually weaponized it.
Y'all always show off when I fall asleep. Damn.
Yeah, we're not showing off.
You woke now, sis. You is woke.
So I think the real issue is that we'll make statements that there are limitations in the study. Thus, primates ain't no such thing as primates. Ain't no such thing as evolution. And so I routinely hear the mischaracterization of what scientific racism is. So the way y'all characterize scientific racism is not how scientific racism really went down, right? So never forget that science is actually undefeated. You cannot defeat science. Science can only be defeated with better science. So if you're actually saying you got better science, right, that shows and proves that humans aren't primates, then you actually win. But if you bring in a person from the Discovery Institute who do not produce science, because they actually don't, they have no published works at all. It'd be one author that write one paper, and he's like a saw on them. They defeat science from their house. So I understand the whole thing. So my point is, who defeats science?
No, close out. Renegade, hold on, Sister Freedom. He needs to close out. Renegade J next, and then you're after.
So I'm just saying, Renegade J was basically saying that the primate shit ain't real because the studies they have, any studies they have limitations to it, and that's mischaracterizing it. And that's what my bro just came in to tell y'all. Y'all actually mischaracterizing and you weaponizing the limitations in all studies.
Thank you, Unc. So I just want to correct him real quick. Unc makes a lot of assertions and tries to speak for people. When he first came up here, I told him, don't use when you talk to me. Don't use if when you talk to me, because you're using a lot of conditional language. And I listened very well. Don't say I'm doing something that I did not do or say. If you want to address me with exactly I said and respond to it. Don't respond with how you feel about what you think I might be trying to do, because that's disingenuous. So please, Unc, when you speak and try to address me, be very concise, be direct, because I'm listening to the words you're using, and I could keep pinpoint right in how you're trying to sway the audience, and that doesn't work with me, bro.
I appreciate
We're trained in this, bro. So if you want to get better at it and see why I'm able to catch you every time, come to the round table. But I want to ask you a question.
No, don't stop.
No.
I thought it was my turn.
It's not your turn. It's Sister Freedom's turn.
I was going to ask him a question, but go ahead. You got it, Freedom.
No, Sister Freedom. Let Sister Freedom get in, and then it can go to. I don't know if Sakina, do y'all want to get in, or we can go back to.
No, I'm enjoying.
I'm listening. Me and Sakina right here. We listening. We are so listening.
Always let us know when you want to jump in. Sister Freedom's gonna jump in.
We don't jump straight in. You know, we gonna let you know.
Exactly. But then Sister Freedom, and then it's the truest, and then I think it's back to Skinny Head, then the pseudo killers.
So the guy made a statement though.
Yeah, and
address him directly.
Write it down. Write it down. Take a picture. Sister Freedom, go ahead.
Okay. Well, they thought I'm forgetting what the question was. So when you say science is undefeated, the theories of science too? I mean, are you saying that the theories of science is undefeated? When they're theories of science? How's it undefeated? Science is always changing. So it is only, wait a minute, it's only we could change with science when science changed, even though science is always changing. So if somebody comes up with a new idea, they can't present it And the science people be like,
That's a
well,
question.
that does make kind of sense. Like,
well, see, now y'all getting out of control.
No,
You
she
can't
right. No,
trust
No,
she
the
good.
science.
that's
No,
Sister
she
Frida.
right
That's a
there.
good.
No,
That's a
she
good.
right there. That's a good one. And I
That's a
heard
good
y'all
one.
make the mistake on the platform, and y'all talked about theories. And I would like to tell you that theories aren't actually overthrown like that. They actually are nestled. They fit safely inside of each other, right? Because, like I said, science is undefeated, and so science comes along when the theory is not complete, and they figure out more things they will add to it.
but so you
Okay.
see, a person off the street can't come up with it. It has
Yes.
to be a
No.
word science on it.
Well,
It has
yes.
to be just, but
Correct.
that's
So,
not a fact because
Sister
No, a
Frida,
person off the street couldn't do
Sister
it because
Frida,
they
I
wouldn't be
agree
doing.
with you.
Can't do science.
Hold
A
on.
person
You're
off
not
the street,
jumping in.
there's rules
After
to it.
he's done, it goes to
No,
the truth.
I'm simply saying that most people think that the theories are like overthrown and debunked, right? And in actuality, like the theory of relativity, okay, and then you got Newtonian physics. People thought that Einstein theory of relativity overthrew Newtonian physics, when in actuality, the theory of relativity fits safely inside of Einstein theory of relativity because he had to understand the theory and he added to it. So that's what I'm trying that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. You don't actually overthrow sound theories. You just, you know what I'm saying, you just add to them. That's
yeah,
how
but
it really
they're
is.
adding on, but still making that. If you saying they're just adding on, they're just still making his wrong thing right with just somebody's new added on stuff. But because he came up with that first, his don't be. It's wrong.
No.
Came up-
Watch this. Hold on. Watch this, Sister Freedom. So like if scientists come up with a theory, right? For you to actually get with it, you have to explain everything that theory explains and then add on to it. That's how it
No, that's
actually
what you
works.
change it. Why does it have to be added on? Why can't
Because
they
that
change it
because
when it's always changing?
no, it's not. It changes with when more available answers are there, and so you don't have all the answers at first because there's some tool like they didn't have the tools to measure to figure out what a damn element was, right? And when they did have the tools to measure the elements in the cosmos and in distant stars, right? And then those answers came to them because they had better tools. That's all it is. Like looking at the star system. You can't just look at a star system with your eyes. Okay, you don't see it. Now you develop a telescope. Now you can see it. You made some
How long
observations with
does
your
a
eyes,
theory
like our ancestors
stays
did.
a
Then
theory?
they added the tool to it.
How long does
Okay,
a theory stays a theory?
until it can be
And
changed.
and two,
Sister Freedom, can I go
Hold on,
next?
y'all.
No,
Hold on,
you
real
can't
quick.
go
Hold on.
next. It's
No,
not your
let him. I
turn.
want to hear what he got to say, Dulcie. I really do.
Wait,
Want
but
to
because the truest hasn't said anything either, and OTK
But
hasn't
it's
said anything
directly to.
all this. No,
It's my
no, no.
question that
And
I
then
want to
write your
hear.
point down if you can't remember it.
No, will you let
This
me
me,
speak? You
Dulcinea.
Wait, just let
Yes,
OTK
Dulcie.
go.
Freedom
I
was saying she wanted to
so
hear.
we need
YouTube channel is
She wanted to
But
hear. Let Freedom hear.
OTK, it's OTK's turn. And then
my
it's
This
not.
me.
It
turn.
doesn't
No,
matter.
it's
Let
not
Freedom
your turn.
ask
You
the
just hold on,
question.
Sister Freedom. Hold on. You just
Right,
went. We just
right. Yes,
you
but
just
in
went,
my
and now
You
question.
being a
OTK's
control
going,
freak.
and now
Oh my
OTK's
God.
going. And then
In my
after
question.
OTK, we can go to Skinny Head after OTK. But please allow everybody on the panel to talk. There's not just 3
Well,
people
is
on the
he going to
panel.
answer
There's
my
not just 4
question?
people on the
OTK, you
panel.
answer my
There's
question?
10 people on the
Or are
panel
you
right
coming
now.
up with a different question?
If
I'm
Dulcie
gonna
had
write
let
it
him,
down, Sister Freedom. I'll write it down, Sister Freedom, because
Damn, what
I
the
guess
hell?
this is like some control freak stuff. I'll be honest.
Yeah, Dulcie, it is getting kind of weird.
Well,
Seriously,
because
it
we're
is
not
getting
we're
weird.
not letting everybody talk, and OTK just jumped in and he hasn't talked for at least 30 to 45 minutes. OTK hasn't
We
said anything.
understand that, but you gotta let things
yeah,
flow
OTK,
sometimes,
please,
organically.
don't argue,
Yes.
please. Just yeah, damn.
OTK was next. He was the one that naturally came in when Skinny had tried to overtalk him. Go ahead, OTK.
All right. Hey, brother,
yes,
I was the one that came in to ask you, how long does a theory stay a theory?
forever. You
And I
don't
just
gotta
said,
for as long as it stands until somebody like one of our children, they go to school in that field and discover more things, yo. Simple as that. Some theories never change, right? Some stand the test of time. like the theory of gravity. It has stood the test of time. And then there's laws, right? The law of gravity, right? So, but laws don't become theories, and theories don't become laws. And there's no hierarchy. A law is not greater than a daggone theory, or vice versa. But the layman, normal, regular people like us, we don't understand that.
So
Hold
you
on,
saying gravity
OTK.
is
One
not a
question.
fact?
Hey, OTK, please save that for the next
It's a
question.
law.
Let
It's a law.
Skinny,
It's a
let
law.
Skinny Head go
It's called
next,
the law of
and then
gravity.
the truest after after Skinny Head. I was gonna say the Skinny Head.
Okay. Okay. I wanted to respond to what Sister Freedom was saying because that's a real good question she asked. And sometimes me and Ankh, as much as Ankh, my favorites and stuff like that, we clash on this a little bit because, like you said, a person could have a new theory, or a person may even have a theory about something that science haven't even got to yet.
Yep.
But because sometimes science haven't got to it yet, when I be watching Neil deGrasse Tyson and all type of stuff like that, it's like some stuff, if science or some expert or somebody with a degree or a certain level of something hasn't said it yet, then it's almost no possible way it could be anything true about it. And then the flip side to that is, let's say when we on the YouTube channel, when somebody come with a theory, the way that y'all sometimes bash people for coming with their theories, sometimes I'm trying to tell you, Aunt, and this go all right. This go into the character and spirituality stuff too as well.
You got me, nigga.
It
Because ain't
almost
nobody from YouTube coming with no damn theory. That's why it's called a theory, because you're not allowed to do it. See, that's what they have rules. Like I can't run around and arrest people, and say I'm the police.
But I'm saying, look, you could.
You get that though?
Could.
You get that though, right?
I get it. Listen
yeah, I
to
can't
me.
put handcuffs on a nigga, and say I'm locking you up.
You can't, but what I'm saying is,
that's all I'm saying.
Maybe, for example, we could have some episodes where we show how to properly present a new theory.
No, it's called get a degree first. That's your first step.
Yeah, stuff like that. Okay,
that's right. Stuff like that. You take yourself
and then that's why the truest gets to talk next, because he's the one actually doing that.
Exactly.
So let someone that's actually doing it speak.
Yeah, but he agreed with the primates and shit. Though the truest agree with the primates.
That's a good segue into what I was going to say. Like, I'm an atheist. I agree that we're primates, but I think Jay's point, which is getting looked over, is he wasn't raising questions about the scientific method to say that because there are flaws in it, or limitations, I should say, in it, that we should just throw the primate theory away. He was saying because of the limitations of the scientific method, this is why it should not be beyond questioning. Even when something raises to the point of becoming a scientific theory, it is not absolved of questioning. That was his only point, and people keep trying to make it something else.
He can't.
Well, that's my next point.
It is the truest that it's the truest turn. Thank you.
Yeah. That's my next point. The idea that you have to become a scientist, or that you have to actually even be someone qualified in the field to come up with a scientific theory, while your scientific theory would be superior and more organized and more structured if you do go out and get a degree, or if you are working in the field, right? I'm not going to deny that. But to say you have to have those things to create one is a lie. The only thing you need, the only thing you need to create a scientific theory is to organize scientific facts. Once you organize an array of scientific facts and you utilize and weaponize those scientific facts to create a theory, it's a scientific theory. Because that's all it is. A scientific theory is an organization of scientific facts. That's all it is. And you don't need to be, and you don't have to be a scientist to do that.
I agree. But you would be a scientist doing it, because that's what scientists do.
So you agree with Gang then, basically. You agree with Gang.
It was just that easy.
No, I agree. No, what I'm trying to tell you is, if
we
a
done
person,
converted you already.
Listen, if
you done got converted.
No,
I think they also say you done got adjusted.
Okay, man. So you just trying to win, nigga. So I know how to deal with individuals like you.
We already won. It's over.
Yeah, I know how to deal with you. It's not an issue.
But that's
All
what I
right,
was.
hold on, Sister Freedom. Let Skinny Head close out. Everyone keeps saying I'm not dropping the link, but there's 10 people on the panel. That's why
I'm gonna
30
close
minutes
out
ago,
by
I told you
saying,
let's close out.
you stopped everybody from talking, but when Renegade cut off Ankh, it was okay.
I know.
Oh my God!
It wasn't even Ank's turn to talk.
I just left it smooth.
Exactly. It wasn't even Unk's turn to talk. Thank you, Renegade J. Thank you. And people don't want me to moderate, but they want to come up on the panel. How's that going to work?
Yeah, you got wild
Dulcinea, girl.
Wild
Can
moderation
you
skills.
go from like a
I'm not
to an
talking about
eight?
you, Gemini. I'm not talking about you, Gemini. I'm talking about people.
But I'm just saying, can you go from like a 10 to an 8, sis? Like an 8 and an 8.5?
Unscramble Mindz sister's not going to argue about this. Skinny Head, are you done? Dulcinea is moderating, so she got to do it this way to keep some type of composure. We got
okay. Well, Freedom, you make sure you be quiet next time she tell you.
Trying to be.
No. I said,
you make sure you be quiet.
Gemini.
I ain't even said nothing. She ain't gonna tell me to be quiet because you don't hear me.
We ain't doing that. I already told ladies when y'all want to jump in, y'all jump in because you got to remember this is our channel. So if we want to sit back, we can sit back. But if we want to include ourselves, we can include ourselves in. But all I was saying is I'm trying to get Skinny Head to close out so Marcus can come up. That's all.
He did just close out.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I mean, the stuff I be really wanting to say, I'm not really allowed to say it.
Well, don't curse like I'm gonna get
no.
later on.
Hey, Skinny Head, what did you disagree with me about those?
The phone is messed up, Skinny Head, real bad, like staticky.
You said what? You said my.
Disagree with me.
It's coming off really bad, staticky.
It is bad, Skinny. It's bad.
Oh man, it's probably my microphone.
Yeah, it's your mic. It sounds like a mic issue.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not.
Thank you, Skinny Head.
Disagree with me, yo.
No, sometimes you just be dogmatic.
Yo, I'm not dogmatic, yo.
We can't hear him.
We can't hear. I'm sorry.
I heard him.
Yeah, we can't hear.
I heard him.
I know you heard him, but it sounds horrible.
But we didn't. It sounds horrible.
He said at times I'm dogmatic, but he forgot I was in an environment where everybody make their own shit up. It's called the conscious community. They didn't have sources when I came to the conscious community. It was the great Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, Delbert Blair. Nobody used sources, right? And so you have to make people use sources, right? Because that's what intelligent, thriving communities do. The communities that don't use sources.
Information though.
No, you cut me off. All right, so that's what we're doing. So everybody got to fight for a voice now. All right, it's cool.
I wasn't doing it on purpose, Unc. I was just saying that other people got minds too. That don't mean they got to have science on the back of it.
So you don't understand if my son is in my face,
yes,
saying, Dad, I got a mind, Dad, and I think that the solar system is this. I say, son, you got to go to school. You have to go to school.
We don't have no intelligence.
Yeah, but you don't have a son here, so use a person. So if it's a stranger and they said that same exact thing to you,
I don't have a son.
Then how do you address that stranger?
How to address a stranger? What are we talking about now?
You just said if I had a son, I would say, son, come on, we're not going to do the semantics. Because you don't have a son here, so you're talking to Freedom. When we're asking a specific question,
why would you jump in that with that? How's that?
Because sometimes you do. Sometimes, when they're saying that it's a little dogmatic, they're absolutely telling the truth. And
they're absolutely ignorant to what I'm talking about. Is what they absolutely are.
No, wait a minute. Stop using that word because it can be offensive.
It's not a bad word, though. Look it up, please.
Some people, it's offensive.
Because they're not looking words up. And that's why I have communication problems. Because everybody refuses to look up words. You know, ignorant don't mean you stupid. It simply means you don't know.
I know what you mean.
That's what I'm talking about.
Bobby Becker, you said if I had a son and my son said, Dad, whatever, whatever. I would explain. And I said, okay, well, you don't have a son up here. Pretend like a complete stranger asks you the exact same question. Now you're like, what are you saying? Why? Who told you that? That's wild.
That's
Don't
too
say
much for
that.
me. It's too
I'm
much for me.
saying to you,
It's too much.
hypothetically
That's what I'm
speaking.
saying.
Listen.
Y'all, please, Gemini, can I finish dealing with
Hypothetically
please?
speaking.
This is
Yes,
And
go
I
ahead.
want to ask you a question before you go back with Unc. Are you sure we shouldn't put a 2-minute timer on this and we should just let it go like this? I'm just asking.
Well,
Let it go. Why is it when I'm talking is you let niggas get up here?
I'm asking Sister Freedom a question. That's all I'm doing. I'm asking her a question.
well, I'm just saying if we want to do it that way, that's fine. But I just want Unc to answer the question. And then however you do it, because you know what? You know why I'm gray head back, right?
But I
Over
tried to answer the question, and then I got dove in on telling me what example to use to answer
Yeah.
the question.
And
When
I was
there's
just
men
about
and
to
women on the
say,
panel. So I'm
and I
trying
was
to figure
just
out
about to
why
say,
can't I
Sister
answer the
Freedom,
question the way I want to answer the question?
you can.
when you
So
ask the question, just let him speak, please. Just let him speak and don't come in. Just let him speak.
I'm
Go
simply
ahead,
saying
Sister Freedom,
prior.
and ask the question.
I'm
Well,
simply
do you need
saying
her
this.
to repeat
I'm
the
with
question?
you, Juju. When we are asking, first of all, let me say this. I always got to that I'm the eldest person on this panel. Can we not yell at each other? My sinuses is starting to bother me with the yelling. If Unc is answering a question, please just let him. If Renegade, Truist, they answering questions, ladies, can we just let them answer the question? Damn.
Yeah, but you were
OTK.
coming in, so that's why I was just asking, do we want a 2-minute timer
Yeah,
on
let
it,
me
or
answer the
just
question.
let him answer? Okay.
Yeah.
If you could
Hey,
please,
DQ.
we'll all mute up.
My
We'll all
God.
mute up while
How
Unc
you doing?
we'll all mute up while Unc answers the question. Please do
Thank
not
you.
go in on Unc.
Thank you. What I'm trying to say is,
Uh-huh.
say I'm just like Gemini said, just anybody off the street coming to ask you an intelligent question or
Right.
giving you some intelligent information. Because guess what? Everybody has not went to school and got the word scientist or degree on their back, but they smart as hell. You know that to be true.
And they fuck it up the most. The smartest people fucking
That's
up the
not
most.
true. You know it's not true because
Absolutely.
no, it's not.
Absolutely. Because
Not
you being the
true.
smartest person in your neighborhood or the smartest person on your block, you go right to physics and fuck it up. You go right to evolution. I've seen it all the time. Your intelligence does not transfer to
You
science
seen it
like y'all
all the
think it
time?
does.
Is that a fact? Because
Yes,
somebody
yes,
has to do
because
something first.
so if you
People
want me
have
to answer a question,
ideas. Okay, if that's the case, well, the people that is actually disputing this whole primate situation
I
also
don't
have
want to talk
degrees.
about that. I don't want to talk about that.
I'm trying to finish my
Yes,
question.
yes, go ahead, finish your question. But I
Also,
don't want to talk about
by you saying that it's a way that you got that is just very rude, and you really have to stop doing it.
it. I'll absolutely work on that.
Okay. There are people that are very intelligent naturally. They have minds naturally, and they think naturally. That's how those people became scientists. It's because of a thought that they had first. So I'm trying to figure out, why are you making it appear that people can't be smart and don't have a? Do you have a degree in science?
Sakina, you get in next.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I believe that you are a very intelligent young man. So you can come up with a thought or an idea that may be on the same level as somebody with a degree, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, somebody with a degree. So can I answer the question then?
Yes, please.
So the world prior to science, so we call Homo sapiens sapien, intelligent man, right? That's indicative of men and women. So the species itself is very intelligent. That's not the point at all. The point is that human beings developed a method to getting at the truth and understanding nature, right? Because nature is counterintuitive, and your senses are horrible for making you understand nature. Just that statement alone, right, is counterintuitive. I'm gonna say it again. Your five senses are horrible in trying to understand our natural world. So how intelligent you are has absolutely nothing to do with it at all. It's about the steps that was created and the tools that's created so that we can understand nature. That's my answer.
According to them.
Okay.
So
No,
who's
according no, hold on.
Sakina.
Hold
Wait,
on,
let
hold
Sakina
on.
get in next, please.
According to all the human beings on planet Earth.
No, I don't agree. But
I know
okay,
you don't. That's
accept
fine.
the state.
That's fine. You can go to Africa, West Africa, they have a science program. You can go to Australia, they have a science program. You go to Baltimore, Maryland, they got science program. You go anywhere on the earth, science programs. Anywhere on the earth, 12 inches is 12 inches.
But
30 meters anywhere on the earth. Wait, listen. 30 meters anywhere on the planet Earth is 30 meters. You can be in the hood, right, and understand the metric system and measure out 30 meters. It's consistent. That's what makes science so powerful. It has prediction power and it's consistent no matter where you go. Now, as for religion, it's all over the place. My God is this, my God is that. God did it in 10 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. That's why there's no actual come together with religion, because there is no system in it. That's my answer.
Please let Sakina get in now. Sakina, your turn.
Okay, this is my thing. If I gave you
only 10 people can be on at a time.
Let's say I gave you one of these little cars. You know how they give you these cars with all these pieces in a box, and you put it together with the glue, right? Everybody know these cars, these little automotive cars that come in a box with all these little pieces. And you have to put the glue together to put these cars together. And when you get through, it's a car, a rocket ship, or all these things. OTK, you might have had one. I give my grandson had one, my son had one. These cars, you might have had one.
Model cars,
yeah,
right?
Model cars. So and these come with an instruction, but they come with pictures, and they say A, B, and C, and D. Now, if you can put one of those model cars together, right, then you know what you're doing. So if you can't put it together, right, this was a test. So if you can put these cars together, these things are not easy to put together. A lot of people give up and throw them away. A lot of people do these things for a hobby. Now, is that science? Is that math? Is that strategy? Some people can do it, some people can't. Again, so this is the thing. If you can't do it, if this was a job, if you can't do it, then you wouldn't get the job. If you could do it, you get the job. So does that make it say if you're not qualified, then you're not able to do it? This is the difference between science or any other thing. If you're not qualified, so just because you think you can do it, don't make you qualified to do it. Everybody think they can do it. I've used to hear this at my job every time. I can do your job. No, you can't. Not until you sit in my seat and actually do the job. People always think they can do something because you think it's that easy. Not until you do the work. If science was that easy, everybody could do it. You think it's just easy because you think it's just this little piece. Actually do the work. It's not that easy.
Thank you, then Gemini. Gemini's
Great
next.
damn point right there.
Yeah,
Gemini's
I'm inclined to
would say that.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with.
I know.
With
Wait,
Sakina
hold on it. Let Gemini go, and then it's Nisha after that. We're gonna.
This is why I don't understand why y'all said, when she asked the question. So, can anybody come off the streets? And you're saying to her in this scientific way, well, all you have to do is just sort the get the facts together and this, that, and the third. People are doing that, and people still do not have their works published. It is very, very hard. So when we're talking about science, we're really talking about something that is studied over several years and years and years of study to try to get something right, to try to get a formula or something that they're observing in a correct manner, and that they can reproduce over and over and over and over and get the same exact results. That's not necessarily easy. That's not easy. So we're talking about it as if it's just some willy-nilly type of thing, and it's not. Scientists are very important people in this world, and a lot of different things in our lives have been changed because of it, but it wasn't no overnight sensation. So we're not going to come in here too and act like, hey, we can all just be scientists and we can just create our own theories and place them and place them in order, and then poof, all of a sudden, we're published folk. This is where all the pseudoisms and all that stuff that people talking about come in at. So if you guys will be just a little bit honest about how, science is actually created, we can get somewhere in this conversation. People
Okay.
cannot just come off the street.
Are
and
you
start
next?
creating
Well,
things.
I'm glad you say that,
No, it's
Gemini. Since
Nisha's
you
next,
say
and
that,
it's
Gemini,
me.
how is science
Great
created,
point.
Gemini? Since you go in that, how is science created, Gemini? Since you want to go into that,
Well, let's
how is
ask
it
somebody.
created?
Well, again, it's definitely created right over years, over time. It's not
No,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
go
no,
in
no, no,
some
no,
sort
no,
of
no, no, no.
lab
Gigi,
and you're
Gigi with that.
gonna find these results of whatever it is that you're looking for right then and there.
Moving
So
on, bro. Stop.
Wait, hold on. Gemini, were you done?
no, I'm actually I am done. I'm gonna land the plane there because he was
Okay.
asking me how is the
How
scientific
science is going.
method being
Okay, and then
created.
OTK.
No, he
Uh,
said
OTK,
how.
did you?
He said how
How was
long do it take? That's
how long
Well,
did
how
science?
long does
it
it
took.
take? Right.
It took
So we know
350.
that.
It
So
took
we know that it's not an
350,000
overnight.
years. It
Yeah,
took
there's no overnight
350,000
No,
years.
it
sensation in
didn't.
science.
No, it didn't. That's definitely
It took
not true.
Yeah, that's
350,000 years,
why
ladies.
I wanted him. Go ahead, unmute and OTK, and then let me know if your question was answered, and if not, ask your question to Gemini again.
Nobody thought about it that long.
Well, how long did it
It
take?
took 350,000 years. I mean, y'all can
Okay,
hear
well,
the
Hey,
answer.
y'all
Y'all
she
go.
done
don't want to hear
said
the
it
answer.
didn't, so
Go
I'm
ahead.
asking her. She
I
knew
could
the
definitely
answer.
explain it.
I
I
can
could definitely
answer
explain
No,
that.
why it
let
took
OTK
350,000
let
years.
OTK ask the question. Maybe
Okay, all
he's
right.
not even
I'll
answering the
come back to
question
that.
that he asked. Can you ask the question again, Renegade J?
Renegade, go ahead.
Wait,
Oh,
what
I'm
question?
sorry. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
OTK, you had the
Oh,
question
okay.
right about how science is made.
Yeah. How was science created? I'm not talking about the African. I'm talking about
So
from
he
our
did say
common
created,
concept.
not how long it takes.
Yes. And
Yeah,
then so did
you can't
Gemini
take the
answer your
African
question?
out of it though, ladies. Ho.
No.
Let them
OTK.
answer. They know the answer.
Gemini, it's in order. So let Gemini answer, and then I don't know if Nisha's there, then it's gonna go in order. But OTK, he clarified how is science created, and Gemini, did you have anything more to say or?
Yeah, I don't at OTK. So OTK, and I don't know how science is created, but I do know that it's going to take more. That can't nobody just off the streets come and do it. You just can't be, any type of person. You have to have a mind for it first of all, right? And so you don't have a mind. So like right now, we're talking about science as a subject, and a lot of us do not have a in-depth scientific background. So the little bit, the surface parts that we have learned. This is what we're discussing. And if you want to go in depth, right, you would actually need to sit here and bring a bona fide scientist here so that he can go into depth about what it is that we're discussing. But for now, this is surface content.
And you got to be a mathematician, not just science. You got to know math like that too.
Right.
And for your
And
chat and for Juju in the chat, ain't nobody no motherfucking zero.
Oh,
Good
see, there
work.
we go. That's
hold
why
on.
Ain't nobody no
Yeah,
fucking
I
zero.
know it's Nisha.
I
Unmuted.
handled that.
I know. Yeah, just don't cuss, OTK,
Please,
please.
I really don't want that.
Yeah. So Nisha is joining in. Peace, Nisha. It's been a
Oh,
minute. It's been a minute. I thought you were asleep.
Shit.
I'm glad you're
I
up.
mean, yeah, around the bush we go. So the guy in the chat says, he's basically saying that who that is, Yahweh don't bow down to. Stanford Ovinsky, scientist and inventor, had no college education. Walter Pitts, a cognitive science, was an autodidact.
What year
Maybe I
was
said
that?
that right. I don't know, but
What
he
year was
said
that?
he taught himself mathematics.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What year was that?
I mean, he
Let her go. Let her go.
Wait
Let her
one
go.
second. Yeah, let her go, and then Sakina, I'll look it up for you right now while Nisha is talking.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
A psychologist,
reading
a
the
neurologist.
Please go ahead, Nisha. Please.
1800s. Thank you, Mr. Metro.
He taught
The
himself
modern science
mathematical
ain't even there
logic,
yet, yo.
psychology, and neuroscience. So if he did that with no college education,
In 1800s.
I don't understand how. I don't understand how we could just say no anybody can do this and no anybody can do that. You're going to school to be taught by somebody who's been taught. That's by somebody who's been taught.
Okay.
In the 1800s.
What the year
In
got
the
to do with
1800s.
it?
Key point. Key
What
point.
is that point?
No,
And you have to have a mind for it.
hold on, everybody,
In
please, because
You
you
have to
bringing
have a
up.
mind for it. If you don't have a mind for it, you
Everybody,
can't beat
everybody,
anybody.
Everybody mute up. Everybody mute up, please.
Cut it out.
Everybody mute up,
Everybody,
please.
mute up. It
Damn,
needs
because
to
y'all,
go,
I mean,
and
Billy.
because you guys are wrong about the 1800s because you didn't look it up yourself. So let Nisha go, and then I'll pull it up on the screen when this guy was born and who this guy is. He's not in the 1800s, but it is Nisha's turn to talk.
Thank you.
I mean, god damn. I mean, my point is that people are capable of anything. Just because we don't have, some people don't have this degree or that degree, it doesn't stop their brain from working. A piece of paper don't make you.
Facts.
It's people that done been to school after school after school, never graduated from none, but still retaining knowledge, still getting information. All I'm saying is that it's good to challenge your own self. It's good to challenge things that people give you. And it's also, you also got to think that, yeah, we've been taught this, we've been taught that. Science is right. There's no absolutes in nothing. Period. Like, we go on and then we bash each other and go, come on, man. It's still a lot of learning that everybody has to do. And I don't feel like science is completely objective, because if it was, it would never change. I don't get it. That's all I had to say, man. Y'all keep going.
Hell no.
Okay, and it's my turn now, and it's my turn.
I
now.
understand you, Nisha. I understand you.
I get it, Nisha, and I'm about to body bag the next point, because this is the problem with this community, and this is not an
on the
attack
guy,
on
please.
it is an attack on anyone, but it's the problem with this community. We go and someone gives us information, and then someone that we're cool with gives us information about it when we ask questions, and when we just take them for word without looking it up ourselves. And that's the problem why we're not even understanding science, because a lot of us won't actually look it up ourselves. We won't see as far as what the truth is or anything. When someone that we like or what we're cool with says something, we just take it on face value without even researching it. And we could research these things ourselves. We could come with our own objective thought, but we tend to just go and say, oh, okay, well, that person sounds right, I'm just going to go with them. So Stanford Robert Ovinsky, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, you know, he has one of them white names, is an American engineer, scientist, inventor whose span of 50 years was granted well over 400 patents, mostly in the area of energy and information. He was born in November 24th, 1922. He died in October 17th, 2012. So now all these people just said as far as 1800s,
it don't matter. I'm right here with you.
I know, because one guy in
you gotta keep reading those Dulcinea.
Hold on, I'll keep reading. And it's from your source.
The nickel metal hydrate battery. Come on, well, let's go to his businesses with the computer.
Yeah, let's go. We can go.
Go to the nigga education. Hell with that. What does it say about his education?
Right, he works in the mechanics and engine and energy. Right, and he started working with fuels and hydrogen and energy, and that's what he discovered.
What kind of college or whatever?
Can we go to his education?
It doesn't matter about the college part. He was working in his field, and that's where his discovery
matter, because that was the subject.
Okay, so he opened a scientific field of amorphous and discordant materials in the course of his research.
Let's read that.
Research in his course of neuropsychology and neural diseases in the natural of intelligence in mammals and machines and cybernetics and what is this? Amorphous silicone and semiconductor. And it had become the basis of many technologies and industry, right? Like lockout, tag out. This is one of the things I do. So being a self-taught, distinguished from without former colleges or graduate training in 1922, which probably didn't exist in this kind of field. However, this is how science discovers science, because they work in the field. Ain't that what they do, Unc? When they started, okay, come on with it. So all throughout his life and the love for science and the social convictions, ain't that what they do, Unc? And Renegade, and the social convictions where primary engine was the inventive work for his inventive work. So in the 60s was his soon-to-be second wife. He founded engineer conversion laboratory in the storefront in Detroit. Remember Detroit? That's where they started with all those big cars and stuff. Ain't that where that happened at? Detroit, Michigan? Oh, yeah, that's where it is. Okay, so come on with it. So
okay, so now it's my turn. Now it's my turn, Sakina. Hold on. It was my turn, but I wanted you to get that part out. So thank you. So we can go through it, but the point wasn't if he studied or how he did put in the work. So I get it, Sakina. At first you were saying that you had to put in the work, but other people were saying you had to get a degree. And all Sister Freedom and Nisha said was you have to put in the work. It doesn't matter if you went and got a degree. If you go and put in the work, you can learn just the same. You don't need a piece of paper. And that's what Nisha said. No one said you can't put in the work.
Let me tell you something. You can get a degree by, it's called a demi degree. And when you work in that field, that's how you get that degree, by working in that field. Ain't that how some of the doctors get their degrees after they get through? That's how you got that, what they call that, when somebody reads your book and then they whatever that is, what they do with your book, when they, after they graduate and then
turn up.
Okay,
you know, yeah, but anyway, that person is self-taught still. That person still did it upon himself. He didn't go to college or school to do that. You don't have to.
No, I'm not gonna let you minimize my degree. F that. That's crazy.
I'm not minimizing.
That's crazy.
But some people call it
degrees matter.
Some people have to
get a
apprenticeship.
This whole conversation kicked off because somebody said.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, because no one said that. No one said degrees didn't matter. No one said degrees didn't matter. No one said degrees didn't matter.
Y'all just try to take some old.
Hold on.
1922.
It's my turn, so I don't get a turn now because
you get a turn. But what I'm saying is this whole conversation kicked off though because
please, that's not how it started. That's not how it started. The whole conversation,
if he had a degree.
It started by someone saying that no one that doesn't have a degree can do science. That's how this started. That it is you have to have a degree.
You just gotta win, yo.
Science.
Really?
That was how this conversation started. And Sakina, you using the information to say that someone can go and work in the field and then end up with a degree is their point. Is Sister Freedom's point, is Nisha's point. That's the whole point. That you do not have to go to college first to get a degree to work in the field. You can go ahead and work in the field, earn your accreditations, and earn the same equivalent of a degree when you did not go to college first.
Or you could even be a person with the idea and go to somebody that's already a scientist and say, well, listen, you know what? I came up with this because somebody sat in their backyard and came up with it from the beginning. I'm just using backyard as a word, as a little, metaphor, and came up with what they came up with. I come to you, Unc, and you are already a scientist, and I say such and such, and you say, you know what? Let me try that. That might work. That might be a good idea. But that person's already a scientist and you're not. What about
y'all minimizing what it is, and for every one person that you can find.
Black ladies that was working at when they was doing the rockets and stuff that
Hidden
was
colors.
hidden
Yeah, the
colors.
hidden colors.
Yeah, I'm
Katherine
just
Johnson
saying.
and the IBM. I would have to get all four of their
They
names.
had a mind for it. And for every one person you can
I
find that's
just
self-taught,
that's what
you
I'm saying.
can
You're
find
jumping
3
in.
times, 10
You're
times
jumping
as
in.
many people
You're
who
jumping
have a
in.
degree
I'm
in
trying to
that
make a
field
point.
who's in that field.
God.
You have to have a mind for it. First of all, if you don't
Okay.
have a mind for it, you are not going to be even
You just
mad to
want
be
to talk.
studying in that field.
Okay, Gemini, can you let me finish, please?
Well, yeah, but you cut straight in.
I didn't cut you off. I just want to finish.
Yeah, stop muting my mic for number one,
I
whoever's
muted
doing
my
it.
mic
I
because
can sit there and be
Hold
quiet,
on,
but
guys.
for number
Hold on. I know. Hold on, you guys, because we just got to be mindful and be respectful of each other.
So,
stop muting my mic. That's what I'm asking. We ain't gonna have no mutual respect of nothing if you keep on muting my mic. As if I ain't been quiet this whole night, and you not gonna keep screaming.
So
I don't know
please
what
stop
y'all
yelling
have
over
against
each other.
Where
So
the time
please
y'all get
stop
enough
yelling
y'all
over each
that
other.
y'all
Let
right about
Sister,
something.
let
Y'all
Sister
come
Freedom
and y'all
go
want to sit
over
here
next.
and y'all want to sit here and y'all want to sit here and do whatever it is to say whatever you want to sit and say, like nobody else got nothing to sit and say. Take over the entire.
No, it was in order.
Oh,
It was
this
actually
is
mine.
my job.
It was actually my
calm
turn.
down. Period.
It was
Stop
actually
muting
my
my mic.
turn. It was actually my turn.
That's crazy. You want to control something?
No, because you just had your turn. So you want 50
I didn't just
turns?
have no nothing.
You want
Stop muting
100
my mic is
turns?
what I
Did
asked
you
you to
go
do.
all
Nicely.
over?
I
Okay,
asked you to
and
stop
that's
muting my
fine.
mic.
Please
I asked you
stop.
to stop one
So
thing. Stop
so
muting me.
stop over
That's what
talking.
I asked you to
So
do.
stop over talking.
Now
And
I've
we
been
can make sure.
respectful
Somebody
this
just
entire
stop.
time.
Okay,
Stop muting my
that's
mic.
cool.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
I didn't mute your mic. None of this right now. You were
I
talking. So
did.
please.
And I muted
Okay,
mine.
stop doing that.
Okay,
That's what
so
I'm
Sister
asking you.
Freedom. So Sister Freedom, we're gonna stop muting mics. Everyone is gonna be respectful of each other and not cut in and over talk. And if that is violated, then the muting the mics will continue. Now it's Sister Freedom's turn. Sister Freedom.
I done damn it argue with her. I don't even remember what I was saying, but I think I was, and I muted mine too, just to let you know that. What was I saying? Damn it, I done damn forgot. Was it about the fact that the four ladies and people? I was trying to use it as an example, and I think I was saying to Unc, I don't know if I already said it or whatever. That what if I came to you with an idea and I don't have a science degree, but you do, and you couldn't figure out what it was that you was trying to do, and you got a science degree, and I came to you and said, I think this will work, and you use it in this work, and it works. Then what?
Okay, Gemini.
And
No
I
one
do
cut off
remember
Gemini.
saying that, and he agreed. You did earlier. You agreed, Unc, and now you changing it. And I'm just saying, well, go ahead, go to Gemini.
It's Gemini, yeah. Please let Gemini talk. No one will be muted as long as Gemini is not over talked. Go ahead, Gemini.
What I'm saying is that, listen, for every one person that you find that's self-taught, you're going to find 10 to 15 more people who is not self-taught, that went to college, earned a degree. First of all, you have to even have a mind for it. Going to college sometimes help you make up your mind on what it is that you want to do, what you want to study, and where your life path is getting ready to lead you to follow. So if your life path led you to science, and you about that science life, sure, you find an intern, you take all the steps. But the hopes is for you to earn a degree somewhere in that field of study too. So some kind of way we got off on, okay, yeah, y'all took Sakina's point of you can study under somebody, and y'all took it and ran wild with it. Okay, so what I'm sitting here saying is that, first of all, we're not gonna minimize nobody's degrees, because degrees cost big money. Ain't nobody sending their kids to school for $30,000 to $50,000 a pop for nothing. We want you to find your life path. We want you to follow said path and go ahead and do whatever you're gonna do. Even if you never use it, you know you made it to that finish line and you earned a piece of paper. That piece of paper is serious. Right? So for those who are following that path of the piece of paper, of the degree, you are actually going to go find ways to, if you haven't already built up your networks, to work, to follow somebody to look for a job in that field of study, then then you're looking for a job somewhere within your study. But they're going to hire you, pay you more because you got that piece of paper. Period. Now you can do it the good old fashioned manual way and work yourself up to it. But why? Because it only took you 4 years of school to sit here and actually shortcut a long 10, 15, 20-year waiting period of you trying to get a degree under somebody else or be in a field of study under somebody else. That is technically not the norm. And people are technically not self-teaching themselves anything that they don't want to actually go into that field. If you're a self-taught scientist, understand what that's saying. You have a mind for it. You're not out here just willy-nilly. It ain't got nothing to do with no capability. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It got everything to do with where life is leading you to study. And if science is it, then science is it. You're going to get in any kind of way, but more than likely, that's not the way people do it. People actually take the time to sit here and study that field. They take the time to sit there and listen to teachers who've been taught. Because that is the way everybody learns. Period.
Okay.
And we are hoping that the person hoping that the person that's teaching us has a piece of paper. We need to see your degree in order to teach the people so that they can teach the people and teach the people. And let's keep these degrees rolling. Because I'm not sending my kids to school for nothing and let anybody come and minimize that and say it's just a piece of paper. They can have capability. Nah, F the capability. If I'm paying all this money for you to sit here and go into any field, I'm going to need you to figure it out in the first 2 years. The second 2 years, I got you. The next couple of years, we're going to figure out how you're going to work in that field of study. And especially if it is science.
Oh,
that's a big deal. We're not going to minimize science. Act like it's nothing.
Yeah. All right.
Ain't nobody off no street.
We have to get Marcus and Marcus. He came.
Do the 2-minute rule, please, Dulcinea, because I can't.
Okay, so the 2-minute rule now. That's what I was trying to do before. I was trying to do it before, Sister Freedom, when I got cussed out by y'all. But I knew we needed it. I know. I'm just messing with you. It was a joke to make you laugh.
No, Sister Freedom want 2 minutes on people who she don't want to hear.
I ain't saying nothing. No, it's gonna be. Hold on, it's gonna be on everybody. Gemini is gonna be on everybody. Now that it's your turn has ended, it's gonna go to Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus, and I'll actually do 3 minutes and not just 2 minutes.
No, 2 is enough because I can't because they'll start repeating that stuff all over and over.
I know, but please let people get fully what they say out because 3 minutes.
I'm not talking to you. Why don't you just not?
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying that's the general across the board statement.
You still talking? You won't stop. That's why I'm asking for the 2 minutes.
I know, but let's do 3 minutes. We're gonna do 3 minutes. Just 2 minutes. And 2 minutes is not enough time. And you did go longer than 2 minutes as well. So let everybody get 3 minutes. Yeah, I was looking at the time. Yeah, you did.
And you always say that, Dulcinea.
Hold on, Sister Freedom. Everybody has been going longer than 2 minutes. Everybody has gone longer than 2 minutes. So let's just do the 3 minutes. I will do the timer. Let Marcus speak, and it will be a 3-minute timer for everybody here on out. Promise. And it's not that. It's going to go fast. Go ahead, Marcus.
I'm not going to need 3 minutes, so don't worry about it. Sister Freedom.
How you doing, brother Marcus?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, peace, God killer. How y'all doing? Let me greet everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, you called my name purple sweet potatoes. That's what I need.
You want the purple ones?
Yes, I do. I asked you for them the other day.
All right. I just wanted to make sure because I got the red ones now.
You were supposed to bring them when you went to the thing.
I'm coming down there tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be by your way tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, because I gotta get my truck tag, so I'll be in town.
All right.
So now that that's taken care of. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Most of y'all on this panel pseudo as hell. I can't deny that. Y'all tripping right now. Y'all talking about the people in Hidden Figures, man. All them people went to college.
Yeah.
What are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
Them people were geniuses.
Yeah.
What are y'all talking about? Like y'all, that's exceptions to the rule. Y'all trying to take the exceptions to the rule and make it the norm. It don't work like that. You're not gonna Google search your way to some scientific theory. Y'all gotta knock that crap off. Y'all tripping right now. Y'all really out of control right now. Now we gotta do better than that. So listen, there are times where people come through ages of enlightenment, where they come. You got these childhood geniuses like Einstein and stuff like that can do that. The word is autodidactic, right? That happens on occasion, but that's not the norm. That's not the norm. And when they do that, they usually have some type of mentorship prior to that. They usually have somebody who's in the scientific field that sees that in them and pushes them forward like that. So that's what normally happens. It happens. It's there. One of the best things you can do if you wanted to be in type of business, something like that, is get those people who are highly educated in the field. That's what what's his name, Elon Musk does, right? So you can hire the right people if we want to deal with business. But overall, this idea that you can Google search your way into some type of scientific theory is utter foolishness. The other thing I heard y'all talking about is about the limitations of science. Limitations of science exist. We're not going to deny that. But that don't mean now you can say that there's some God in the sky or something like that, some little consciousness in the black waves of sky and all like that. That ain't part of the conversation. Like, y'all trying to take those nuances in science and put
Nobody
your
said that.
pseudoisms in there.
Nobody said none of the stuff that he's saying.
Y'all like
I
fucking
thought it was my
ad
turn. Am I mistaken? It was my turn? My 2 minutes is up. Okay,
2 minutes. Wait, hold up, Marcus. 2 minutes was up, but I was giving you 3 minutes. 2 minutes was already up. But you can go ahead. I paused your time when they had come in. I paused your time when they had come into it. Since he said that we didn't talk about anything that you said, which was absolutely correct. I don't know where you going. You did not hear none of that. But I can resume. Oh, you didn't hear nothing about no God particle, nothing about God. But I can resume your time right now.
Resume my time, please. Thank you. So yeah, so what happens is people want to interject their pseudoisms into those nuances, right? They want to discredit science. So you go to sources like Discovery Institute, Answers in Genesis, and you listen to these people who are trying to promote their religious ideas as science. And then you use that and you come back and you promote it here. You want to try to convince black people that these outside crazy folks that have been rejected by the standards of science and bring that here. That's foolishness to me. Now listen, I appreciate some of the things you ladies doing. I don't want to not rock your world. Y'all got that perv in the chat. I don't know why y'all keep letting that dude come over here. He's a perv. He's nasty.
Oh yeah, Mighty Hebrew. Yeah.
Y'all got to cut it out.
Don't start that, please. We're not doing that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. You'll get kicked
out.
out.
Don't call out a
that was the end of your 3 minutes.
We're not
talking. We ain't wild for that.
You're wild for that. Because then we can bring up everybody's. We can start bringing up everybody's records and see what everybody is. So we're not doing records tonight. It's supposed to be on science. That's what we're supposed to be talking about, and that only. And if we want to talk about people's criminal records, then we can do a show on it. But this is not that show. Just Renegade J. Yeah, Renegade J came in. Renegade J.
I just want to tie it.
Please
let Renegade talk.
No, your turn was up. It was already 3 minutes. You said you only needed 2, and it was 3 minutes.
I'm just saying bye. I'm just saying goodbye. I didn't say what I had to say. I'm done. I ain't got to stay here no more. I wanted to know about sweet potatoes. I wanted to call out that perv in the chat, and I wanted to let y'all know stop that foolishness. I'm out.
Yeah, I just want to tie us back to where this all started. The reason why I went off in the direction that I went is because there were people in the chat that were basically saying like there was no point of debating the topic, pick a better topic, basically insinuating that some things shouldn't be questioned. And that's why I brought out the scientific limitations. But what Marcus just did is called a straw man argument. He came up here and basically refuted a different argument from the one that's under discussion right now.
Take that down.
And he used it.
And
he used it to throw out this pseudo word that people like to just put an umbrella over everything or everyone that disagrees with them, and we got to stop that too. We need to leave that in 2023. It's about to be 2024. Stop throwing out pseudo just because people disagree with you.
It's a fact.
Stop straw manning just to make your point because you want to go in on God. Nobody up here talking about no God. So I'm just wondering with the whole PK crew, honestly, it seemed like y'all programmed to just respond in a certain way instead of actually listening to what people are saying. You guys are
all the wild ass cheerleaders.
You guys are addressing arguments, claims, and people that are not present. So I'm almost like, are you guys a part of this discussion, or are y'all on another stream right now? Like, do y'all got some type of cognitive dissonance? What's going on? Can we stay on actually what the topic is? There's no God in this discussion. There's no religion in this discussion. So can we stop straw manning just because we want to say pseudo because we don't like what's being said and we're getting emotional and upset that our ideas are being challenged?
And I can just say this.
So this is my turn. Is it my turn next or what?
It is. I think it is. But I just want to make sure I never said what I wanted to say about the four ladies. So he came up and said something about that college education, and I never got a chance to say what I wanted to say about the ladies. I ain't said nothing about that college education.
Right. I know. He straw manned you too as far as that, but that's why I tried to.
What you gonna say about the ladies?
Okay, then she'll get her solo. She'll get her solo right now. And while she gets her solo, if everybody can mute up, go ahead, get your solo, Sister Freedom.
No, I want to go ahead. My nose is hurting.
Oh, okay.
So I want to ask Renegade a question. Renegade, do you accept biological human evolution and primate? Do you accept that? Because I'm thinking I'm thinking the way you answer this will actually meet.
Well, I put it this way: I'm very open-minded to different perspectives about it.
No.
I'm
asking you: do you accept Charles Darwin's evolution,
brother?
Do you accept Charles Darwin's evolution on primates? That's what I'm asking you. Very simple.
No, it's not a simple question because it's a different question from the first one that you asked.
Really? Why you always trying to be over?
I listened very well, bro. The first time you asked, you did not include Charles Darwin, and my answer to you is going to be the same. My answer to you is going to be the same whether you like it or not. You're going to have to.
You didn't ask a yes or no question. You didn't ask an yes or no question. So if you would like him to answer it yes or no, you can reframe
Why
the
you
question.
Jumping in Dulcinea? I don't need your help.
I was just saying so you can
I don't need your help, Dulcinea. Let me talk to this dude right here. He know what he's trying to avoid. I'm gonna ask you again. Any way you want to do it, right? Are you accepting that human beings are primates? That's a simple question, bro. And I'm saying, why you keep me on my mic out? Because that's gonna let us know what you was really doing when you were saying the stuff you were saying. Come on there, bro.
I was about to put the timer on. I thought you were done answering your question. Sorry.
No, wait a minute. Whoa. Me asking him a question doesn't take up my 3 minutes. I hope it doesn't.
Oh, no, I didn't know. I thought you were just asking him a question right now. Go ahead.
I'm asking. Does he accept primate evolution? Come on, yo.
Right.
I want to make it clear because you told me to make sure I'm clear with you.
I'm open to it. But my question
back to you
back to you after you just asked me two questions.
I get 3 minutes to talk.
Why are you? I don't mean you get 3 minutes to ask me questions, bro.
You answered me. Hold on.
I don't mean you get to question me for 3 minutes.
No, okay, I'm done. I don't got it. I'm not questioning you no more. Excuse me, brother. I'm not questioning you anymore. You have answered my question. You have proven my point that the reason you was actually I'm talking right now. You said you're open to it.
You don't listen.
You said you're open to it.
You don't listen, bro.
Hey, Dulcinea, that's some fucking bullshit right there, yo. You put everybody on a fucking count, and then when I'm talking, you let this nigga keep talking. That's bullshit. I waited damn 45 minutes on this wild ass shit. That's bullshit.
It's the round table. It's the round table.
I didn't get my round table in.
You still got the panel
because you
ain't got to
didn't.
get
nigga keep talking though.
Hold on, pseudo killers. Hold on.
He talking because you know I got his wild ass.
I know. Because of the fact that you weren't interviewed tonight. It is their show as long as with us, and that's why I was like, hold on. And that's why I was like, even hold on, I'm not done. That's why I was even like the ladies could jump in whenever they wanted, just as long as they didn't over talk anyone, because it sounds bad when you're over talking. And that's all I ask, is that no one over talks anyone. So as far as that, he was answering your
No,
question.
he answered the question already. Are we serious right now? He answered the question. He answered the question.
You asked me
go ahead.
No, I
Okay,
didn't.
yeah, you asked a whole bunch of questions.
No, I asked no whole bunch of questions.
Okay,
okay, let him have his 2 minutes. Please let him have 2 minutes.
I rephrased the question. I rephrased the question because he's a super fucking technical ass nigga.
Why you keep cursing?
Because y'all make me this way.
He's right.
No,
though. I am technical.
No, he's playing games with me. Y'all tripping. Y'all can't even hear the shit. Yo, yeah. Fucking listen up, everybody.
People are saying that you are going off like somebody.
I'm going off because I sat here for 45 minutes and heard a whole bunch of wild ass shit.
Okay,
and I'm calming through. And then when I finally asked the nigga a question, he gets super technical. And then Dulcinea dive in with the speech.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. Let him finish.
Even if he's rapping.
He answered the damn question. His question was, he's open to it. Right. That's why he made the statements he made about science and limitations, because he don't even understand the shit. And I'm saying all this questioning science outside of science ain't how science works. What I said was it took 350,000 years to get to this point. Why is that? It's like going into a 3-story building with no fucking steps in it. You can't get to the damn 3rd floor until you understand what the first step is. Then that's the first step. And then you build another step and another step. Nature does not allow us to skip steps. So even a guy you brought into the motherfucking conversation, the nigga still had to train with a nigga that had a goddamn degree. So for science, you need. Why is everybody talking?
Please.
Why when I start talking, the whole crowd get crazy?
I know. Hold on. Sorry. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Let me start your 2 minutes, because you were further than that, but I'll give you 2 minutes because someone cut in. Please mute your mic if you plan on cutting in. Unc has 2 minutes left.
I'm mute my mic. I just want him to stop using profanity, please.
Okay, yes, please, no profanity on the platform. If it's something that we continue having to say, you'll be kicked. 2 minutes.
Why is always I'ma be kicked, yo? Think about what you're doing.
No one was
you
saying
keep everybody. It's always me about to get kicked. The shit wasn't even bubbling until I came over here, though, Dulcinea. It started bubbling when I got here. So knock it off and enjoy the moment, like I am.
But can you please just stop cursing?
Absolutely, Dulcinea. Not an issue. My point is, super intelligent guy. He said he don't even deal with primate evolution. He doesn't understand it. So it's wild to me that he would constantly talk about the limitations. He's basically saying that there's a limitation, right? That's why he's not accepting primate evolution. And I said it took 350,000 years to get to this point right here in science. And I gave the example of going into a 3-story house with no damn steps. You can't get to the 3rd floor until you build 1 step. So in Africa, they built the primary stages. They built the first couple steps, and from there, the rest of the world took off. Steps. Nature does not allow you to understand her without getting the step. There is no skipping steps. Everybody wants to skip the steps. That's why science is science. That's why nature is nature. You need to get to the 1st floor in order to get to the 2nd floor, and if you can't get to the 2nd floor, you will never get to the 3rd floor. It's called steps. Nature forces you to understand steps. If you die from drinking water and do not understand that there's a invisible pathogen in it, the people will continue to die. People die from drinking wild ass water until they learn the step of what the fuck was in the water. That's the point I'm trying to make. You cannot skip steps in science. So we cannot understand science by skipping the steps. I always try to get people the steps, and I get people like, brother, man, diving in confusing conversation. Well, you know there's limitations. No, because you think it's limitations, because you don't understand primate evolution. And I appreciate you for answering that question truthfully. So that's why that man continuously saying what he was saying. And I was waiting 35 minutes to ask the smart guy the question, and now I figured him out. Yes, he does not accept evolution. He does not. Appreciate
All
you,
right,
but
that's 3
holla at me when
minutes.
you get.
Don't go nowhere. Stay right
Thank
there.
you.
Holla at me
Go
when you get
ahead, and
evolution,
it's
bro.
gonna be
Don't go
you
Holla
nowhere.
at
next.
me.
Hold on. Your 3 minutes is up. Go
I
ahead.
don't need 3 minutes.
It's
I
your
just need like
turn.
30 seconds. So first of
Okay,
all,
but you got 3 minutes. Use whatever you want.
no, I'll be real quick and concise because I'm listening. First of all, once again, he said, I'm basically saying this. So again, he's trying to remix and generalize what I'm saying to fit what he wants it to be. Secondly, all that you said, Unc, does not dispute the fact that you actually agreed with my original point. So you said all of that in an attempt to discredit me when just 10, 15 minutes ago, you done admitted to everybody that you agree with my point. So where are you going with this? You said all that, wasted your breath, started hooping and hollering, got emotional, banging on everybody.
Nigga, I ain't get emotional, just for the record.
There he is, right?
Yeah,
There he
and
is.
I'm stopping. I stopped your
So,
time. You gonna have
I don't need that much
2
time.
minutes and 30
I'm just,
seconds left.
Yeah, Dulcinea, I just wanted to make it off of it because he cut
Hey,
me
it's
off.
his turn. Okay,
but
I got you. But
I
it's his
appreciate the compliment, Unc. It's not personal. But to your first point, why I said I'm open to it, I've heard it before. It's been taught to me before, but I still recognize the holes in it, which is why I won't dive in completely and say I agree with it. You know what I mean? Now, hold on, brother. Now, will I say that I disagree with it? No, but I recognize where there are flaws. And that was my original points and my original premise to begin with. So that's just the way I analyze things. I'm not someone that skips over or ignores things that can be upgraded or just made better or can come with better information. If I could challenge it and it still holds up to the truth, I respect it. But if I could challenge it and it falls down and it falls down and it falls down and people can't defend it and they start hooping and hollering, getting emotional in the chat, getting mad at me, then I'm looking like y'all don't really believe in it. Y'all up here getting emotional, mad, sad, angry, want to hate the round table gang, this, that, and the other. Y'all ain't really standing on it that
The
firm.
who, yo?
Otherwise,
The who?
otherwise you wouldn't be so emotional about it.
The who?
So again, just to summarize, everything that you just said still does not dispute the original point that I made, which you agreed with. So you need to address that fact. You agree
What
with
was
me.
did I agree with you though, yo?
So this is what I'm
It's not
saying.
your
Like
turn.
the
You just said
listening.
about me doing it. It's not your turn. After that, it's Truth's turn. Okay, go ahead.
The listening, I'm really starting to worry about, like, are you guys actually listening to what we're saying, or do you just want to like jump out the window? But you know what? He got it. He wants to speak. You can speak. I made my point. I feel like,
45 minutes ago, what was the point that you claimed? I know you're tricking everybody right now. What point do you think I agreed with? Actually, what was it you thought I agreed with?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer this briefly and then I'm gonna move on because it's a shame that we have to go back and remind you what you agreed with. It's a shame that I have to remind you what you agreed with. I got to remind you what came out your mouth, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you,
so
bro.
when I said that science has limitations, you agreed with it, point blank and period. That was my point up here, and you just put that line in your whole spiel to call me pseudo. So you're contradicting yourself. You agree with a pseudo, basically. So we got to leave that pseudo word in 2023 because y'all pseudos
Because you're
don't listen
cutting
to
in. I
people.
said no one can cut in on each other. Yes, he's
didn't
answering
call
your question.
No, I didn't.
He
call
didn't
him
even finish his whole 3 minutes, and you were cutting him off. And
No,
you
but
just
I
said,
didn't call
"Oh, why
him
didn't
pseudo,
I?"
though.
And I
But I
gave
didn't
you
call
3
him man
minutes.
pseudo. Take it back, dog.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
be
didn't call
honest.
you
Yo,
pseudo.
take it back.
But he did say limitations. You asked him what you agreed with. He just answered you. It was the limitations. Y'all agreed with each other.
Dulcinea, we did not agree. See, this is, and I'm glad you brought it back up, bro. I baited you in for real. Thank you for saying that. Bro, I disagree with the way you used it. You use limitations to, like you just said, you use it as a limitation on why you're not messing with evolution, bro. Because you think there's some kind of crack in it. There's some kind of limitation to understanding that. And it actually is not. Evolution is a fact and a theory, bro. That's my point. Thank you. So yes, although
he didn't use
there's
it
a
forever. Hold
limitation,
on, let
you
me
don't
come
agree the
in.
way
Let
he's
me
using.
come in real quick, Renegade. No, because you just lied. You you said that he used it to try to refute evolution. No one on the panel tonight ever tried. Let me finish. No one on the panel tonight ever tried to refute evolution. So, like you said, you're scamming. You're scamming because if you listen,
But I want to.
if you listen to the conversation tonight, everybody said that they believe in evolution and the evolutionary fact. Then the evolutionary fact that organisms change over time. Renegade J never said he didn't believe in evolution. So if you want to correct your nope, he did not just say it. He did not just say that. And we can rewind the tapes. He didn't just say that. So stop scamming.
Okay,
stop
scamming.
Not a problem, stop being a scammer and actually address his points.
Okay,
and not make up your straw man argument.
Just for the record,
Stop being a scammer. Stop being a scammer and address him.
Hey, Dulcinea, just for the listening audience, when we talk about primate evolution, that is evolution. Just so your smart ass mouth can get that straight. See, so since you're the scammer to lie and act like that primates and primate evolution is not the same as evolution is ridiculous. Knock it off, Dulcinea.
And you're wrong again.
And you said it with your chest stuck out.
And you're wrong again.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you exactly. No, you're wrong again. The incontrovertible fact that I taught you already. Nope. No.
You told me that.
Because you're the one jumping in. You're the one jumping in. So you're going to listen to this point. Nope. You're going to listen to this point. So the incontrovertible fact is that organisms change over time. That is the scientific fact. No one argued the scientific fact. You're a scammer. Primate evolution is not organisms change over time. Primate evolution is an explanation to organisms change over time, which can be questioned, which can be actually seen if there's holes in it. And you cannot say that they're the exact same thing. They're not. The scientific fact is organisms change over time. So you can't say that anyone came up here to actually try to refute evolution. That's how you scam the people. That's why you keep scamming the people. That's why there's a theory on side of primate evolution theory, and there's not a theory on evolution. It's just evolution because it's not a theory. It's a fact. When it's a theory, it's going to tell you it's a theory. So stop saying it's the same thing. It's not. You're even saying they're both theory and a fact. And you don't even understand it. And this is the problem when people are advocating for science and then they can't even read or understand science and they scam people.
Hey, Renegade, you agree with her on that? I'm asking you, dog. Right now, nigga, I'm asking you, the round table guy. I want to put you on notice. Do you agree with what she just said? Here you go, Mr. Renegade. Here's your chance to prove me wrong.
So you're asking me to speak on behalf of her when
I said, do you agree with her?
She just stood up to everything you said, answered all your points, countered your points, pointed out how you don't listen, point out how you make straw man arguments, and you want to ask me instead of dealing with her. That's how I know you're not listening.
No, I heard her. She just put me in the back. I'm asking you a question. Just say you're not going to answer it.
My last thing,
you're not going to answer the question.
My last thing would be this, though, bro.
No, do you agree with her, though? That
I'll answer your question.
That evolution, right, ain't got nothing to do with primates. You agree with that?
I didn't hear her say that. But I'll answer it.
He said it's different.
Didn't say that at all.
He said primates is not. He said evolution is not a theory.
The only thing, this is my last part, and then I'm pretty much done. My only thing, bro, is what I noticed. What I noticed just from listening to you is that.
Nah, don't worry about it. But don't throw the shade.
Hold on, brother.
Don't throw the shade. Don't throw the shade.
I know you used to be a DJ back in the day, the way you be remixing people's words, bro. That's the only thing I'm gonna say to you. You used to be a DJ because every time someone talks, it sound like you said this, about to, if, when. Like you like to throw a lot of conditional statements into people's words, and then you start arguing points that they did not make. So just my very last point is that we have to really get better at listening, especially if we're going to challenge people's ideas. Please listen very closely to the words that they use. That's all I want to say.
And you're correct. And you're so correct, Renegade J. And since this is our show right now, I'm going to take the time to actually teach them what Renegade J is saying. So here we have a straw man fallacy. It's what Unc tends to use all the time. It's what Skinny Head tried to come up here and do, is argue points that haven't even been said. So a straw man fallacy occurs when someone distorts or exaggerates another person's argument and then attacks the distorted version of the argument instead of genuinely engaging. You saw Marcus did the same thing when he came up. No God was mentioned tonight. No one said that they didn't believe in evolution. And then he just said that, oh, I said that primate evolution is different from evolution. And he had the nerve to say evolution is a fact and a theory, which I taught him that. So let's go into what a straw man is by example. I think pollution from human contributes to climate change. So person 2 says, so you think humans are solely responsible for the extreme weather? What about volcanoes? Are we to blame for those too? So this is an example of what Unc just did. Evolution is a fact. The fact of evolution is organisms change over time. Primate evolution is a theory. It is a scientific theory, but a theory. What he just said is we tried to poke holes in the fact that organisms change over time. No one on this panel ever did that. We said or Jay said there was too many holes in primate evolution for him to accept it as the complete truth. But he is open to accepting it as the truth if he is proven that it is real. But in no way is it a fact. And in no way do you deny organisms changing over time just because you say that the Darwinism's theory of evolution, where we evolved from primates, is just a theory. It says it in the name. Darwin's theory of evolution. If it was evolutionary theory, they will tell you that evolution is a fact. Evolution is that organisms change over time. And that's first grade science, you guys. You're welcome.
And whose theory is that?
That evolution, that organisms change over time, it's not a theory. It's a scientific fact. It's a law in nature.
Was I next? Was I next, or
science?
was brother Truth next? Which one of us was next?
Oh, I think it's you actually, the truest. You're next.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to say, even though Jay just did answer and give his thoughts on primate evolution, this was by the direction of Ankh. He only answered that because this was the question Ankh raised to him. But the original conversation Jay was having wasn't even calling into question primate evolution. Like he said, I think people have short-term memory or don't even remember or truthfully listen to conversations. What Jay originally addressed is people he deemed to be scientific Methodists that see no flaw and see no issues or holes in the scientific method itself. Jay was saying that even with the very method used to formulate all of these theories and to collect data, that there are some issues and holes in the very scientific method itself. That's what his original statement was. And because of that, anything that comes through this method is open to questioning. He didn't say that we should throw away the theory. He wasn't even specifically talking about primate evolution initially. He was talking and speaking to the scientific method itself. He only started speaking on primate evolution now because Ankh drove the conversation in that direction. So, as he said, there's just a problem with listening sometimes, because the last time I spoke, I rose this point and Ankh agreed with me. So this is why Jay was saying, you don't even remember that you agreed with my initial point, which was about the scientific method having flaws. I will bring up one way we know for sure it has flaws. he mentioned how our five senses, right, fail us. Because our five senses fail us, this is where room for things like human error and interpretation of data can become problematic when we're talking about the scientific method. Well, how does the scientific method begin? It begins with an observation. What do you use? What do you use to formulate said observations? You use your five senses. Now, in science, right, we have tools that help enhance said senses. But I'll bring up Newtonian physics for example, because he brought up Newtonian physics, right? Newtonian physics deals with things on a molecular and atomic level, right? When quantum physics comes around, which studies the subatomic plane, right, and subatomic particles, these things defy the laws of Newtonian physics. Newtonian physics falls apart on a subatomic level. Now, that is not to say that Newtonian physics was debunked because of quantum physics. However, Newtonian physics was limited in its scale because it can only observe things on an atomic level. Quantum physics goes a little deeper than that. And this is where the laws of Newtonian physics falls apart. So I say that to say the scientific method itself begins with an observation, and due to the very things he said fails us, right, which are the five human senses, this is where we can kind of be limited in the observations, interpretations of data, and conclusions we draw. Last thing I'm going to say really quickly. The branches of science are needed in the first place because one branch of science will answer questions others cannot. For example, psychology is needed for some of the things that neurology cannot answer. If you want to get diagnosed with if you want to diagnose someone with a mental illness or a mental disorder, right, you would require a psychologist for that. A neurologist may be able, based off of the study of the nervous system in the brain, they might be able to answer some questions as to what may lead to certain mental disorders, right? Certain causation of certain mental disorders. But a neurologist cannot diagnose someone as a sociopath. You would need a psychologist to label someone a sociopath. Why? Because psychology deals with ethics, it deals with morality, and it deals with social engagements. Neurology does not. And in order to label someone a sociopath, you have to talk about and point out how they're antisocial. A neurologist cannot do this. So this is why branches of science are important. But people tend to only focus on the natural and earth sciences like biology, chemistry, and physics, and they act like that's the only fields of science that are important. And this is why they think science is only objective when one psychology can give a mental diagnosis that another psychologist might disagree with. And that is why the social sciences are subjective, but they're still sciences. And you can still get a PhD in psychology, sociology, and all the other social sciences. Well, I land my plane there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Truth, go ahead, join in.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight, man? Peace to everybody. Man, I think I might be the lone wolf up here, man. I don't. You already know me. I don't believe in evolution. Right. Even the changes amongst species, that's actually, to me, based on science and genetic studies, that's a form of de-evolution, to keep it a buck. But the difference is no species never changed to a species. Like even amongst us, like the differences of us is a form of de-evolution, but we still are humans. And evolution, a lot of times try to pinpoint on the premise that we all descend from each other from one way or another. So at one point we was this type of organism, and now we gradually over time and random mutation and natural selection, now we're this type of organism. And I'm just saying, you know, based on what the scientist is saying, you know, forget what Truth said. And Truth went to school, but I ain't go to school to be no scientist. I went to Southern Illinois University. I know how to research. I know how to look for what the evidence and that data actually say outside of the narrative that they're painting around the evidence they're observing. There is no evidence of that. Point blank, period. Um, and I think a lot of times, man, people put too much faith in these people just because they're called scientists. Like even your debate with the primate, your first round, man, you did a damn good job. And I wish you would have just doubled down on that, because that was the dagger right there. The whole weird primates was based off scientific racism, point blank, period. The whole foundation of that and the whole transgression of that up to a certain point was based off scientific racism. So the further study of this field of us and these primates and us being closely related is still based on the foundation of scientific racism. And people that push this is unknowingly being racist against themselves. Like, they're saying that we're close to primates because we allegedly are the closest relative to the primate. And they basically calling you a monkey. And that's why I tell people who say they believe it, I'm like, hey, man, next time a white person call you a monkey, man, smile and say thank you, because you believe that shit. And so, man, I think that it's still a lot of scientific racism from the past that is still prevalent today, but they threw a tablecloth on it and try to smooth it out and tone down the rhetoric of how they're pushing it and try to use it into a scientific framework, but it's still based on the same foundation of a lot of this science. And it's just a lot of problems. And that's why I was asking the question in the chat. I was like, there's nothing wrong with someone coming up with a scientific theory. You observe something, it sparks something in your mind and you went to test it. That's fine. What happened when you went to test it? Okay, it didn't, you didn't get the answer that time. Okay, you tested it again. You didn't get the answer that time either. Okay, well, we got to wait till this evidence come available. Okay, the fossil records came available. All right. It actually contradicts what you thought it was going to be. Okay, the genetic studies came available. It's a lot of things that contradicted on the genetic level as well. So how long do a scientific theory stays a theory before it either become a fact or we throw it away and start over new? And no one can ever answer that. So I think that people questioning science is a good thing, but also we do have to go into the scientific field and use the evidence of science to be able to see what's being said. And man, we all can search these peer review papers and things like that. And I think another problem is that a lot of these peer review papers, that if you really pay attention to it, a lot of these people are not even doing the testing. All they're doing is just going over old test studies and then coming with their own understanding and painting the narrative around it like it's fact. And they never even really did the testing, because when it started getting down to the evidence and the data, you see them saying they used this person's stuff back from 07, 05. Like when they showing you all the links, they be all the way back to like 1950, 1998, 2001, 2005. But the peer review study is in 2023 and it's making an extraordinary claim, and they never even test the science. They just basically trying to interpret other test studies that happened in the past and putting their own understanding on it. So man, I think that
And
these
I agree with a lot you're saying. Can I just push back on one point that you said?
Oh yeah, no problem.
When it comes to evolution, I think the theory part of it says that evolution is just progression. It says that just mutations are getting better over time because survival of the fittest or different things like that. So they say that you revolve till the best is last. But you said you do believe in a de-evolution. Well, de-evolution is still change over time. It's just a regression and not a progression. So the evolution part of it, that it changed over time, would still be a fact even to you because you believe in de-evolution. But it wouldn't be that it's progression anymore. It would be that it regressed